Chapter 1818. Compared to Wu Qing's disheartened and pale face, Lin Feng was very calm. Anxiety and panic couldn't solve the problem. The shortcoming of the Heaven's Eye was that it couldn't be used often, but if a few Destiny race powerhouses came to kill him together, this shortcoming could be made up for. For example, if 3 Destiny race powerhouses sensed his location one by one, he would have nowhere to hide. But their speed isn't as fast as mine. Even if they can sense my approximate location, it'll be difficult for them to catch me. With the soaring light shuttle, Lin Feng was very confident in his speed. He was afraid that the Destiny race would be determined to kill him. Then, it wouldn't be just 3 or 4, but a dozen or even dozens. If they surrounded him, he would become a turtle in a jar. No matter how fast he was, he wouldn't be able to escape from this area if he was locked by the enemy's aura and trapped by a control-type true treasure. It's over, it's over. Wu Qing was very cowardly. She muttered to herself, her lips pale. Lin Feng was still thinking, looking for the best way. For now, leaving and lying low might be the best way, but it wasn't his style to be a deserter after being sensed by the Destiny race's Heaven's Eye. It was too cowardly to be afraid before the battle. Moreover, even if he lay low now, he would have to face the same situation when he came in again. Unless he never entered the Destiny realm again. For him, not only would he lose the Dew Essence and the Eye of Destiny, he wouldn't be able to help the Green Tree tribe. He wouldn't even be able to get the key to the Void Gate. But if he didn't leave, how could he face it? Lin Feng was hesitant. The Destiny race would definitely come, but the ones who would come first would be 7-star or 8-star powerhouses. Lin Feng was very sure of this. There was no need to use a butcher's knife to kill a chicken. To deal with a small fry like him, the Destiny race wouldn't be so bold as to send 9-star powerhouses. If that was the case, they really thought too highly of him. However, even 7-star and 8-star powerhouses weren't easy to deal with, especially when there was more than one enemy. He was confident in dealing with 7-star powerhouses, but 8-star powerhouses. He could only barely defend himself. It's not that there aren't any benefits. At the very least, I don't have to go out of my way to look for the Heaven's Mandate tribe. Lin Feng smiled calmly. Soon, a large group of 7-star experts will come to kill me. Those who can't kill me will have to leave behind their Eye of Destiny. Instead of slowly collecting the Eyes of Destiny one by one, why don't we take advantage of this opportunity and complete the Green Tree tribe's mission? Lin Feng was full of fighting spirit. What harm was there in having a good fight? It had been a long time since Destiny World was so lively. The news spread like wildfire. Every tribe knew of the existence of the human youth, Lin Feng. They wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Previously, Lin Feng had wiped out their tribes, and the tribesmen who had escaped Lin Feng even announced Lin Feng's strength. 7-star. He's just a 7-star expert. Why do we need to send so many clansmen? I alone am enough. Smash this human's head into mush. How dare you enslave our clansmen? You must be tired of living. That's right. How dare you enslave the Heaven's Mandate tribe? You must be tired of living. Kill him. Kill him. The Heaven's Mandate tribe was very xenophobic to begin with. Now, they hated Lin Feng to the core. Almost every tribe received the news from the 6 strongest experts of the Heaven's Mandate tribe. However, these 6 9-star experts, who stood at the top of the Heaven's Mandate tribe, did not take action. They only gave orders. Just as Lin Feng said, there was no need to use a sledgehammer to kill a chicken. There was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in the world. Back then, the 3 9-star experts had killed a human 9-star expert, which was already a joke in the outside world. Now, if they personally killed a mere 7-star human, the Heaven's Mandate tribe's reputation would probably be ruined. 7-star experts were enough to kill a fledgling human like Lin Feng. The Heaven's Mandate tribe experts from the witch prison tribe closest to Lin Feng had already rushed over. They used their Heaven's Eye again and again to lock onto his position. Normally, the Heaven's Eye needed to find Lin Feng's location, but now that Lin Feng had offended a Heaven's Mandate tribe godly spirit, his position was clearly marked like a radar. Even if he was far away from the Heaven's Eye's range, they could still sense his position and direction. Lin Feng, whose position had been locked onto, naturally knew what had happened. Tian Ho had cultivated the fifth aperture and the second stage of perception. Lin Feng's perception was more sensitive than that of an 8-star Destiny tribe expert. Even though he could not resist the Heaven's Mandate tribe godly spirit's prying eyes, each Heaven's Eye only sensed an ordinary 7-star Destiny tribe expert. Come. Lin Feng stepped onto the profound light shuttle. He had already made all the preparations to have a good fight with the Heaven's Mandate tribe. Even though this was their territory and they had the advantage, he had his own advantages as well. It would not be so easy to kill him. 3 of them? Lin Feng laughed involuntarily. 3 7-star Destiny tribe experts were chasing after him. This was the first batch of Heaven's Mandate tribe experts that were closest to him. They really thought of him as prey. 3 7-star experts, the strongest 7-star elite. Lin Feng's eyes flickered as he spread out his second-stage perception. Not only could he clearly see every 7-star expert and their servants, but he could also sense the strength of their souls. He could tell at a glance whether they were strong or not. Back then, he had killed 5 7-star experts in a row. Even though he had used a trick, how hard would it be to kill 3 7-star experts if he cooperated with old demon Golden Flame? Moreover, he now had another helper. 7-star Destiny tribe expert Wu Qing. She was a bit cowardly, but she was still a 7-star expert. 3 against 3. Lin Feng immediately started fighting. He did not want to fight 1 against 3, even though he was confident. There would be more battles later. What he needed to do now was to preserve his strength as much as possible and finish the battle as quickly as possible. Once the 2 battles overlapped, it would be troublesome. After all, they were alone and weak. Over there. I see him. Haha, he belongs to our witch prison tribe. The 3 7-star experts of the witch prison tribe were very excited, and their eyes lit up. In their eyes, Lin Feng was already a turtle in a jar. They were the Destiny tribe. As one of the top 5 tribes, every member of the Destiny tribe was an elite among elite. In a one-on-one battle, other tribes would not be able to win against them, let alone 3 against 1. They had the absolute advantage. Kill! The 3 7-star Destiny tribe experts revealed their killing intent. Suddenly they saw their prey turn around. Not only did he not run away, but he also attacked them. The 3 Destiny tribe experts were stunned. In the next instant, whoosh, whoosh, 2 rays of light flashed around Lin Feng. They were Wu Qing, who wanted to cry but had no tears, and the fiendish old demon Golden Flame. They each pinned down one of the 7-star Destiny tribe experts. Lin Feng directly attacked the strongest one in the middle. 2 sabers appeared in his hands. Red Sun, Black Hell Soul Severing Saber. Chi. Chapter 1819. Lin Feng had won against 5 of them by himself. Now, it was easy to fight them one-on-one, because his strength completely overpowered the Destiny race elite who was proficient in the way of the soul. The Eye of Destiny's 3 abilities, Heavenly Illusion, Confusion, and Enslavement, posed no threat to Lin Feng. The only thing he was afraid of was the endless attacks of the Destiny race's treasures. Some treasures were good at controlling attacks, while others were good at controlling domains. The 7-star Destiny race elite had at least 1 exquisite treasure and 2 ordinary treasures, both of which were good at offense and defense. But apart from the treasures and the Eye of Destiny, they were nothing special. Boom! Lin Feng cleanly killed the slaves, then went straight for the 7-star Destiny race elite. Many elites had a misconception about the Destiny race, which was that they would bypass the slaves and directly kill the Destiny race elite themselves. This idea was correct, as it was simpler, but they were often trapped, and it was difficult to succeed. How could the Destiny race not know their own weaknesses? As a result, every single member of the Heaven's Mandate race placed great emphasis on their own protection and defense. It was possible to get close and kill them, but it was definitely not as easy as one imagined. Once they encountered a restriction, they would be surrounded by the slaves and fall into endless trouble. But Lin Feng did not. But, clap! Around his body, the light chains shattered one after another, breaking free from their restraint. Lin Feng sighed in his heart. The Destiny race really had many treasures, and many of them were exquisite treasures that were worth a lot. Their power and price were much higher than ordinary treasures, but they would soon belong to him. Chi. The moment Lin Feng shattered the control of the treasures, he killed the 7-star Destiny race elite directly. The latter's eyes were filled with fear. Obviously, he did not expect to be killed by his prey. Instantly, he screamed and counterattacked before his death like a vengeful spirit. Wave after wave of death soul shock blasted out with power that was hard to see with the naked eye. But it was like slashing an indestructible wall, and they were all easily blocked. Whoosh! The moment he killed the 7-star Destiny race elite, Lin Feng had already appeared behind the 7-star Destiny race elite who was fighting with Wu Qing. He was caught off guard and was extremely frightened. Boom! After another round, Lin Feng's expression turned grave. The soul shock of death had no effect on him at all. In the blink of an eye, only one of the 3 7-star destined race warriors was left. The latter was engaged in a fierce battle with the Golden Flame Old Demon. When they came back to their senses, the remaining 7-star destined race experts were completely dumbfounded. His 2 companions were dead, and he was the only one left. Impossible! The 7-star destined race cultivator's eyes widened. In the next moment, he knew how his 2 companions had died. Then Lin Feng attacked. It was 3 against 1, and they quickly killed him. The entire battle only lasted for a short period of time. The 3 7-star Destiny race elites had already fallen. He had obtained 3 7-star Destiny eyes, 3 exquisite true treasures, and 6 ordinary true treasures. His side was completely unharmed. Master, I have a small request. The nearby Wu Qing hesitated and spoke timidly. Oh! Lin Feng was just about to leave when he suddenly looked at Wu Qing in surprise. This was his new servant. She had accidentally offended the god of the destined race for his sake. Although it was not what he wanted, since she had done it, there was nothing to regret. If it was a blessing, it would not be a disaster. If it was a disaster, it could not be avoided. Master, you have no use for the Eye of Destiny. Can you give it to me? Wu Qing bit her lips. There was a hint of desire in her white eyes. The Eye of Destiny? Why do you want the Eye of Destiny? Lin Feng was very curious. Wu Qing nodded. She bit her lips so hard that they turned white. I once read in an ancient book that the Eye of Destiny can evolve as long as it devours enough of the same kind of Eye of Destiny. Lin Feng was very surprised. Your bloodline can evolve like that? Wu Qing nodded. This is a taboo in the destined race. If it is discovered, it will be executed with the most extreme punishment. As she spoke, Wu Qing could not help but tremble. Her eyes were filled with fear. The terror of the most extreme punishment was obvious. Lin Feng could not help but laugh. Since you are so afraid, why do you still want to touch this taboo? Wu Qing gritted her teeth and said, I betrayed the destined race. Since my sin is unforgivable, I might as well risk it all. Wu Qing's eyes were filled with desire. She looked straight at Lin Feng and bowed deeply. I beg Master to help me. If I succeed in evolving, I will be able to reach 8 stars. At that time, I will definitely be able to help Master overcome this crisis. 8 stars? Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Although Wu Qing could not help him overcome this crisis, even if she reached 8 stars, at least he would have one more fighting force. Moreover, she was considered his companion now. It was only right for him to help her. What are the chances of success? Lin Feng asked. Wu Qing looked up and bit her lips. 50%. Good. Lin Feng gave all 13 7-star eyes of destiny to Wu Qing. Since he had chosen to believe in Wu Qing and take this gamble, Lin Feng would naturally not hesitate. Although there was a possibility that Wu Qing would die if he failed, since this was the path she had chosen, he would fulfill her wish. The Green Palm Race's mission was to obtain 107-star eyes of destiny. There was no hurry. Right now, his priority was to preserve his life and increase his fighting strength. He could think about other things later. As long as he had enough strength, he would not be afraid of not having enough eyes of destiny. After settling Wu Qing down, Lin Feng left. The heavens I sensed wave after wave, and a new round of battles was about to begin. What awaited Yi Futian were many difficulties that he needed to overcome. He would not be so lucky in every battle to encounter a team of 3 7-star destined race experts. 5. The 2 closest destined race teams had quite a number of people. They were all 7-star destined race experts. Lin Feng frowned slightly and chose to avoid them. It was already difficult to fight with fewer people, not to mention that Wu Qing was in seclusion after absorbing the eyes of destiny. Only he and old demon Golden Flame were left. Although he might be able to win against one of the teams, he would have to pay a high price. The 2 teams chased after him. However, they were far inferior to Lin Feng. Riding on the profound light shuttle, Lin Feng had absolute confidence in his speed. Even an 8-star Destiny Race warrior would not be able to catch him unless he was surrounded or restricted by a supreme treasure. Otherwise, the Destiny Race warrior would not be able to catch him. It's useless to pull away. Lin Feng was clear. Even if he escaped from their Heaven's Eyes range, they would still know his location, direction, and position. As long as they kept chasing him, more and more destined race experts would come after him, and there would be less and less areas for him to escape. Gradually, the encirclement closed in. Then, he would have nowhere to hide. He would be like a turtle in a jar. The best way to solve this problem was to kill them one by one and remove them bit by bit. There must be a way. Lin Feng sped away as he tried to think of a way. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. Maybe I can do this. Chapter 1820. That guy is really fast. We can't catch up to him no matter what. I'm so angry. Quick, find out where he is. If the 5 of us lose track of a 7-star brat, we'll be laughed at by the other tribes. The 5 7-star Destiny Race warriors from the Witch Prison tribe chattered nonstop. As Lin Feng flew through the air, he did not have any servants by his side. Lin Feng was simply too fast, and the 6-star servants could not keep up with him at all. In any case, he had nothing to do. His servants were all in the Eye of Destiny, and they could appear instantly during battle. Whoosh! Soon, the Eye of Destiny of one of the 7-star destined race warriors lit up. Ripples spread out, causing the space to tremble. The other 4 7-star destined race warriors surrounded him, waiting for him to sense the location with his soul. Suddenly, whoosh! The Destiny Race warrior, who was sensing with his Eye of Destiny, was shocked. His body trembled violently. The next moment, a terrifying aura descended from the sky, causing the world to shake violently. The element of light and the element of darkness. 2 different types of energy suddenly appeared. Along with the blade light that cut through the sky, the other 4 7-star Destiny Race warriors' expressions changed drastically. 6-star servants appeared instantly, and their treasures shone brightly to protect them. Boom! 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 The blade light was unstoppable. The combination of light and darkness, and the divine patterns crisscrossed. Lin Feng's attack was fast and peerless, catching the 7-star Destiny Race warriors off guard. At that moment, No one noticed that a pure white light had pierced through like a shooting star. The attack vanished into thin air. The explosive power just now was like a dream, a flash in the pan. The 4 7-star destined race warriors were still in a state of shock. They were protected by the 6-star slaves, so they didn't suffer any injuries. Only some of the slaves were killed, because Lin Feng's target wasn't them. Wu Jiong. Ah Jiong. The 4 7-star Destiny Race warriors widened their eyes. At that moment they realized that Wu Jiong, who had used his Eye of Destiny, had died without a burial place. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and disbelief. He opened his hands as if he wanted to grab something, but he couldn't. How could this be? The 4 7-star Destiny Race warriors were completely stunned. They didn't catch the prey, and one of them was killed by the prey. The attack just now was too sudden, so fast that they didn't even have time to react. Lin Feng's sneak attack succeeded and killed one of them. Quick! Find his location. He can't be far. One of the 7-star Destiny Realm experts, Wu Mengmeng, quickly held his breath and shouted. A powerful aura slowly spread out and turned into ripples. His expression was solemn. However, in the next instant, whoosh! Wu Mengmeng, who was in the midst of sensing, had a drastic change in his expression. He reacted almost the same way as Wu Jiong did before. In an instant, he unleashed another barrage of attacks, causing the entire area to tremble. Malicious aura filled the air, and black glorious stars spread out. Soul-severing saber turned into the shrill cries of malicious spirits, and in an instant, it launched an attack that was like a violent storm. Without a sound, a ball of blood-red light gathered on Profound Light Shuttle, and with the power of berserker blood, it tore through Wu Mengmeng's defenses. Despicable! B*****starred. The 3 7-star Destiny Race warriors finally reacted. Their fear was mixed with anger. They saw their second comrade being killed, but they couldn't do anything. They finally knew what their prey was planning. Bloodline Heavenly Eye was a forbidden technique. It was extremely difficult to use a forbidden technique, and they couldn't focus on it at all. They also couldn't release their slaves. The result of focusing on sensing was that their defense would be lowered. Even if they had supreme treasures protecting them, it was useless. The physical defense of the Destiny Race warriors was weak, and Lin Feng's attack was too domineering. The Profound Light Shuttle was already very powerful, and it was enhanced by the speed of light. Now, with the addition of the 5th aperture's power, it was like a tiger that had grown wings. Block? Even under normal circumstances, no 7-star Destiny Race warrior could block it unscathed. Of course, they could sacrifice their slaves, but now they didn't have any slaves to protect them when using Bloodline Heavenly Eye. Boom! The moment Lin Feng killed Wu Mengmeng, he launched a fierce attack. He didn't dodge anymore and faced the remaining 3 Destiny Race warriors head-on. 2 of their comrades had been killed by him, and they were furious. Although their attacks were powerful, their mentality, they had already fallen. Now was the best time to defeat them. Again and again, the second weakened and the third exhausted. Lin Feng was originally confident in fighting 1 against 3, but he was afraid that he would use up too much energy. But now it was different from a normal 1 against 3. His opponent's unbalanced mentality made him more confident, and he had a helper. Bang! Raging flames surged up like a heavenly fire burning the plains. The 3 7-star Destined Race experts were complaining incessantly. Before the first wave had even subsided, another wave had arisen. The appearance of the Golden Flame Old Demon gave them even more psychological pressure, because they didn't know just how many opponents they had. A crack seemed to have appeared in their mentality. Now this crack was getting bigger. Now, Lin Feng's attacks were as firm, violent, and powerful as usual. His blade techniques were firm and fierce. With the help of the Golden Flame Old Demon, they quickly killed the 3 7-star Destiny Race warriors. Master, you're injured. The golden flame old demon focused his eyes. Lin Feng took out a fruit of heaven and earth and swallowed it. Small matter. Streams of pure warmth flowed into his body, making him feel comfortable. Rich light energy spread throughout his body. The fruit of heaven and earth's energy quickly took effect. Lin Feng didn't care about wasting it. He had plenty of such fruits of heaven and earth. Using some to heal his injuries was nothing. When he could stand firm, he would have as many fruits of heaven and earth as he wanted. Get ready. There's one more battle. Lin Feng quickly harvested the eyes of heaven's will. He got another five elite true treasures and 10 normal true treasures. Although every battle was difficult, he had gained a lot. The Destiny Race warriors themselves were a huge gold mine. Whoosh! Lin Feng looked into the distance. The auras of the 6 paths and 7 stars elite warriors were getting closer and closer. Lin Feng smirked and gestured to the Golden Flame Elder to destroy the corpses and disappear. A perfect battle. Lin Feng did as he was told, and very quickly, he won another city. Although the 6 7-star Destiny Tribe powerhouses were much stronger and had paid a heavy price, at the very least they were still alive. Their pursuers had temporarily slowed down, and most of the 7-star Destiny Tribe powerhouses closest to them had been eliminated. Wizard Prison Tribe? Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Yes, our tribe has been in contact with them. It's a medium-sized tribe with 15 7-star warriors, Wu Qing said. 15. Lin Feng smiled. He had killed 3 batches, which meant that there were 14 7-star Destiny Race warriors in total. That meant that there was only 1 7-star Destiny Race warrior left to guard the tribe. I had a good time chasing them. Lin Feng smiled and shouted to Wu Qing, "Let's go. Lead the way." He wasn't a gentleman if he didn't take revenge. Chapter 1821. Like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves, Lin Feng destroyed the Witch Prison Tribe effortlessly. Although the Witch Prison Tribe had nearly 200 tribesmen, there was only 1 7-star expert left. The remaining 5-star and 6-star experts were all weaklings. Perhaps other experts would be wary of them. After all, even a 6-star expert's death soul shock was not a joke. However, Lin Feng was completely immune to it. The huge tribe was now in a mess. Corpses were strewn everywhere. It was a tragic sight. In fact, these corpses were slaves that the Destiny Race had forcibly enslaved. The current death was more of a release, a true release. Evil people would be dealt with by evil people. The Destiny Race was like this now. Encountering a monster like Lin Feng, they were not afraid of the death soul shock at all. The Destiny Race really wholesale supreme treasures. Lin Feng sighed. The number of ordinary supreme treasures he had now reached 229. This was simply unimaginable before. In the Origin Awakened continent, only 7-star experts would have 1 or 2 supreme treasures. However, the Destiny Race had 1 or 2 supreme treasures each. It was simply a waste of resources. Most of these supreme treasures came from the Void Turbulence. Lin Feng knew very well that as the oldest tribe in the Origin Awakened continent, the Destiny Race's inventory was indeed very rich. Previously, the Destiny Race had been in charge of the Void Turbulence. Even if other tribes participated, the Destiny Race would definitely have a lot of supreme treasures each time. After accumulating over and over again, they had an inexhaustible supply of supreme treasures. The Destiny Race did not even lack exquisite supreme treasures that were extremely precious in the Origin Awakened continent. It's very likely that they have supreme treasures that are 1 level higher than exquisite supreme treasures. Every time a supreme treasure was increased by 1 level, its power would increase exponentially. If he could obtain an outstanding supreme treasure that was stronger than an exquisite supreme treasure, his strength would definitely increase by another level. However, now, let's speed up and plunder all of these. Lin Feng smiled. Right now, the entire Witch Prison Tribe's treasures were enough to compare to the 2 tribes he had plundered previously. It was even more. The Destiny race was too rich. In the distance, a group of 3 Big Dipper squad was moving swiftly. Their expressions weren't very good. All of them had solemn expressions on their faces. The one in the lead was like a cheetah. His physique was strong and muscular, and contained a shocking explosive force. He gave off a very dangerous feeling. 8-star expert Gong Lai. The other 2 were the 7-star martial artists Yi Chi and Western Melancholy King Lu. This 3-man Big Dipper team was the team Lin Feng had first encountered. However, the 4th member, Lu Binglu, had died in the battle with the Destiny tribe. He was killed by the soul shock of death. Basically, if someone of the same level encountered the death soul shock, they would undoubtedly die. Even if they had a powerful soul defensive treasure, they would at least be heavily injured. The Destiny race's ultimate move was quite abnormal. The 3 of them stopped abruptly. "What's wrong, boss?" the King of Western Du asked. "There are remnants of a battle ahead." Gong Lai frowned and looked into the distance. Yi Chi curled her lips. "What's wrong with that? Haven't we met several times already? We're really unlucky to meet Destiny race experts one after another. In the past, Big Brother and the others couldn't meet even once in 1,000 years. Yeah, these Destiny race experts seem to have suddenly been released. We can meet them everywhere," the King of Western Du mumbled. "It's different." Gong Lai's answer was short and powerful. "What's different?" Yi Chi asked curiously. "Yeah, is there anyone who can destroy the Destiny race?" The King of Western Du smiled bitterly. "I'm not sure." Gong Lai's answer stunned Yi Chi and King Ju of Western Melancholy. Gong Lai turned around, his eyes flashing. "There was a tribe of the Destiny race in front of us, but now there's no aura of the Destiny race." "What?" Yi Chi and the King of Western Du widened their eyes. Immediately, the 3 of them chose to go and see what was going on. In order to pursue the key to the Void Gate, they naturally had to take the risk, especially Gong Lai. He was determined to get the key to the Void Gate. He wasn't young anymore. If he wanted to become a 9-star expert and stand at the peak of Origin Awakened Continent, entering the turbulent void was the best way. Although there were only 3 of them, they weren't that afraid of the Destiny race. After all, Gong Lai was an 8-star expert. As long as he didn't encounter any 8-star Destiny race experts, he could easily protect himself. A 7-star Destiny race expert wouldn't be stupid enough to attack an 8-star expert. Even if the Destiny race had the soul shock of death, even a rabbit would bite when cornered, let alone a human. Everyone was afraid of each other. In the wizard prison tribe, Lin Feng was sweeping through everything. Treasures fell into his pocket one after another. He couldn't sense any aura of treasures in the tribe. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes shone. He strengthened his perception a second time and dug 3 feet into the ground to sense. The spatial energy there seems to be a little different. Lin Feng's heart was moved, and his gaze fell on the depths of the tribe. It was a majestic mountain. Lin Feng quickly came to a natural cave near the mountainside. Outside, there were sparkling jadeite gems mixed with all kinds of crystal diamonds piled together. When the sunlight shone on them, they reflected the light. It was very beautiful. There seemed to be something wrong with this gem cave. Lin Feng stepped in, and the space suddenly fluctuated violently as if it was folding. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. He turned his head and couldn't see the entrance. It was very strange. Spatial secret realm? Lin Feng had heard of it before. Origin Awakened Continent had many spatial secret realms. The spatial energy at the entrance was strange, and it was rarely sensed. However, once one entered, it was a new world. It seemed very similar. Void crystals. Lin Feng picked up the mineral crystals embedded in the wall. They were filled with rich spatial energy. In this area with rich spatial energy, it was normal to condense void crystals. Rows and rows of them. There were at least tens of thousands of void crystals here. For ordinary warriors, this was a shocking amount of wealth, but for Lin Feng, it was nothing. His current net worth was measured in hundreds of millions. Interesting. Lin Feng was very interested in this spatial secret realm. He walked forward. The entrance to this spatial secret realm was very hidden, and it was on the mountainside. Even if one entered the tribe, they might not be able to find it unless their spatial attainments were very high. I wonder if the Destiny race has entered? Lin Feng was very curious. If they had entered, the treasures in this spatial secret realm would have been taken away. However, if they hadn't, then there should be a lot of treasures in this spatial secret realm. Although they had just wiped out the witch prison tribe, no one would complain about having too many treasures. Moreover, this is actually an excellent place to shelter. Lin Feng's heart moved. This was an independent space. He couldn't sense the outside, especially the Eye of Destiny in the void. The other Destiny race experts might not be able to sense him. Chapter 1822. 3 figures stepped into the wizard prison tribe, which was in a mess. The Big Dipper team, led by Gong Lai, looked at this area in shock. The ground was littered with corpses, and the scene was extremely shocking. Even their footsteps became numb and messy, as if they weighed a ton. What happened? This is a middle-sized Destiny race tribe. Gong Lai's expression was solemn as he stepped among the corpses. His tiger-like eyes scanned the area coldly, containing deep shock. His chest rose and fell slightly as he breathed. Not only him, but Yi Chi and Western Du's King Lu were also dumbfounded. This was a middle-sized Destiny race tribe. But now it had been wiped out. They had never seen or even heard of a Destiny race tribe being wiped out because all the martial artists who wiped out the Destiny race tribe had died. How did all the 6-star and 7-star martial artists die? A 9-star martial artist came here? Western Du's King Lu muttered. But why would a 9-star martial artist wipe out a middle-sized Destiny race tribe? Yi Chi was puzzled. I don't know, but it shouldn't be an 8-star martial artist, Gong Lai said. The more powerful the Destiny race's death spiritual shock was, the stronger it was. He knew that an 8-star martial artist might be able to kill 1 or 2 7-star martial artists, but it was impossible to wipe out an entire tribe. The damage of the death spiritual shock was stacked. Could it be an internal strife? Yi Chi asked. Western Du's King Lu shook his head and said, The Destiny race is different from us humans. They are very united and will never kill each other. Even if there is a conflict, it will be decided by the king. It is impossible for them to fight among themselves, let alone wipe out a tribe. Gong Lai let out a long breath and said, If it was really done by a 9-star martial artist, the Destiny world and even the Origin Awakened continent will be shaken again. As an 8-star martial artist and a general of the Big Dipper team, Gong Lai naturally knew what happened back then. After all, 9-star martial artists were already at the top of the pyramid in the Origin Awakened continent. There were only a few dozen of them. If any of them died, it would be a big matter. Back then, 3 9-star martial artists of the Destiny race surrounded and killed a human 9-star martial artist. It caused a commotion for a while. Fortunately, that human 9-star martial artist was a lone wolf and did not have any faction backing him. Otherwise, it might have caused a world war. Let's look around. Maybe that big shot left something behind, Gong Lai said. Treasure! Yi Chi and King Lu's eyes lit up with excitement. Gong Lai's eyes also lit up. A medium-sized tribe must have a lot of wealth. Even if that big shot left behind a little bit, it would be enough for us to earn a lot. Let's go, let's go. Yi Chi and Wang Lu instantly turned into 2 streams of light and split up to search. Gong Lai parted his mouth and smiled. His body also disappeared. The speed of their search couldn't be said to be slow, and in the blink of an eye, they'd already turned the shaman prison tribe upside down. However, they didn't obtain a single treasure, and they left in high spirits before returning with gloomy expressions. Unwilling to give up, the 3 of them searched everywhere. They only found a few scattered ore crystals and half a heaven and earth fruit. No, No. I Chi and King Lu shook their heads helplessly. Gong Lai frowned and said, "This 9-star martial artist is really ruthless. After sweeping through the place, he still looted everything. He didn't even leave us any scraps." King Lu said helplessly, "He doesn't know us. Besides, even if he knew us, he wouldn't even look at us." There were many 8-star martial artists, and 7-star martial artists were scattered all over the place. In the Origin Awakening continent they were nothing. A lofty 9-star martial artist naturally wouldn't care about other people. However, there are many ore crystals here, and every stone house has some scattered gemstones and ornament. Altogether, they're worth several 100,000 void crystals, I Chi said. "What's the use of several 100,000 void crystals, sister?" King Lu smiled bitterly. "It's not like that." I Chi's beautiful eyes flickered. "Don't you think it's strange that every stone house in the tribe has some gemstones and or crystals?" "I Chi, you mean?" Gong Lai suddenly understood. His gaze suddenly became sharp as he looked at a towering mountain in the distance. "There's a valuable ore vein there?" I Chi nodded heavily. "It's definitely easy to excavate and obtain, and it's not rare. Therefore, every stone house has it. Let's go to that mountain and take a look. Maybe we'll get something." Gong Lai agreed. "Even if it's just a ore vein, it could be worth several million or even tens of millions. If a ore vein was buried deep and big enough, it could be worth more than 10 million. However, such ore veins were usually rare. It was already good to have a few million void crystals." Soon, the three of them went up the mountain. "Wait!" Gong Lai's eyes widened. Instantly, his body trembled slightly as he revealed an incomparable surprise. "Space folding. It's the space secret realm. We're rich. There's a space secret realm here." I Chi and King Lu both took a deep breath and were extremely excited. "Follow me." Gong Lai's breathing was rapid. He was like a cheetah traversing the mountain. His movements were extremely fast. I Chi and King Lu followed closely behind. They were so excited that their faces were flushed. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Lose on the swings, gain on the roundabouts. In the space secret realm, Lin Feng was moving forward slowly. The entire secret realm wasn't big. In fact, it was considered small compared to other secret realms. Some large secret realms were as big as planets and brand new worlds. This space secret realm could at most be considered a desert or grassland. He had obtained some green grass, but most of it was useless sand. The green grass was the void crystals, and the sand was the colorful and beautiful gemstones. They looked beautiful, but these gemstones weren't very useful. Void crystals were of little value to him. Although he had obtained close to 1,000,000 void crystals along the way, it was useless even if there were close to 10 million. If he killed a 6-star Destiny race expert, the supreme treasure on that expert would be worth tens of millions. It could even give him an Eye of Destiny. There might have been supreme treasures or other treasures here before, but they were all taken by the wizard prison tribe. Lin Feng looked around. The pavilion closest to the water enjoyed the moonlight first. The wizard prison tribe was right next to him, so he naturally knew that there was a space secret realm here. Moreover, he had found many different supreme treasures and all kinds of strange treasures in the tribe. Anyway, whether the wizard prison tribe took them or not, they were all in his pocket now. "I'm almost at the end." Lin Feng's senses gradually came into contact with the barrier. As he moved forward quickly, he passed through many regions. Soon, he reached the border. Suddenly, a strange energy was imprinted in his mind. Lin Feng couldn't help but let out a soft "oh," and a surprised smile appeared on his face. There was actually a surprise in the end? The wizard prison tribe is really good. They left a treasure for me at the end of the space secret realm. Lin Feng smiled. Rich spatial energy was contained in a treasure at the end of the space secret realm. It was most likely a spatial treasure. Whoosh! Lin Feng immediately sped up. In the blink of an eye, he landed firmly on the ground. This is? Lin Feng looked ahead in surprise. Chapter 1823. What entered Xiao Chen's sight was a vacant crystal mountain. It was several hundred meters tall and looked like a mini mountain. Lin Feng stood in front of the vacant crystal mountain, slightly stunned. Then, he couldn't help but smile. Previously, Xiao Chen thought that this huge spatial energy came from a spatial treasure. He didn't expect it to come from a vacant crystal mountain. What's the use of it? No wonder the wizard prison tribe left it here. It's useless. Lin Feng smiled and didn't pay much attention to it. The vacant crystal mountain wasn't attractive to him. After all, he had enough treasures. As Xiao Chen got closer, the vacant crystal mountain became bigger and clearer. The transparent color contained a lot of spatial energy. Lin Feng looked ahead and squinted his eyes, slightly surprised. That is? In the center of the hollow crystal mountain, there was a huge key sealed in ice. It was about 5 meters long and 2 meters wide. The golden key was engraved with ancient patterns. The key was very heavy, and it carried countless secrets. A key? Lin Feng was slightly stunned. What is this key for? Could it be the key to the wizard prison tribe's treasure house? Lin Feng was suspicious. After thinking about it carefully, he didn't remember the wizard prison tribe having such a treasure house. He had already turned it upside down. Then, where is the key from? Lin Feng muttered to himself as his gaze fell on the ancient patterns on the key. Suddenly, his heart skipped a beat, and his eyes widened. Could it be whoosh? Suddenly, Lin Feng turned around. He sensed 3 auras in his perception range. His perception spread out instantly. Lin Feng said softly and couldn't help but laugh. It's them? Lin Feng smiled as he recalled the scene when he first entered the Heavenly Fate realm. Back then, he pretended to be a member of the Heavenly Dipper race and successfully gained the trust of Gong Lai and the other 3. After that, they separated at the first Heavenly Fate race tribe and never met again. He didn't expect to run into them here. Whoosh! Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Instantly, the war saber-red sun appeared in his hand and pierced through the vacant crystal mountain. Let's get the key first. Boom! Rumble! The spatial secret realm shook continuously. Gong Lai and the other 2 looked at each other. Light flashed in their eyes, they sped up and rushed forward. Since they had entered the spatial secret realm, they didn't think of retreating. There was such a huge fluctuation in front of them. No matter what, they had to participate in it. Instantly, whoosh, 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 the 3 silhouettes rushed to the end of the secret realm. At this time, the tremors of the secret realm had just dissipated. A shattered vacant crystal mountain fell down, and a familiar silhouette floated in the air, holding a huge quaint key that was 5 meters long. It's you! Lin Feng. Ah! Gong Lai and the other 2 were somewhat stunned as they recognized Lin Feng. They were both Heavenly Star Realm cultivators, and they had met once before. Naturally, they remembered. Indeed, long time no see. Gong Lai's gaze landed on the key in Lin Feng's hand. His pupils dilated instantly, and his breathing quickened. Western Yu's King Ju was stunned. He pointed at the key in Lin Feng's hand. This, Lin Feng, why are you here? Ichi asked curiously. Lin Feng smiled. Just like you guys, I accidentally stumbled into this place. Ichi nodded slightly, and her beautiful eyes flickered. Then have you ever seen a 9-star expert outside? 9-star expert? Lin Feng was surprised. Yes. Ichi nodded. Her chest heaved up and down. She was very excited. That super expert killed the entire Destiny tribe. He's so powerful. Lin Feng suddenly understood and couldn't help smiling. That 9-star expert didn't kill them, Lin Feng said. No. Ichi was stunned. Then, she understood and asked, have you seen that expert? Is it an 8-star expert or a force? Lin Feng shook his head. Neither. I killed them, Lin Feng said. He didn't hide it. There was no need to hide it. If the news of him killing the Destiny tribe spread, It would be beneficial. After all, he had already offended the Destiny tribe. Not only Ichi, but Gong Lai and Western Yu's King Ju were also stunned. They had guessed that it might have been done by a team of 8-star experts. They had also guessed that a force had sent a large number of experts to attack the Destiny tribe. But they didn't expect it would have been done by a 7-star expert. You alone? Western Yu's King Ju said in disbelief. Lin Feng nodded. I'm alone. That's impossible. Western Yu's King Ju shook his head. He couldn't believe it. Lin Feng didn't explain further. It was up to them to believe it or not. Lin Feng, you're so powerful? It can't be. Ichi covered her mouth in shock. Gong Lai suddenly looked up. He instantly thought of something and looked at Lin Feng. When we were attacked by the Destiny tribe in the valley, did you go to that tribe? After Ah Lu died, Gong Lai and the others recovered from their injuries. However, they couldn't swallow their anger. After that, they met Tiangang's other companions and attacked the Destiny tribe together. On one hand, they wanted to take revenge for Ah Lu. On the other hand, the Destiny tribe was blocking their path. Even if they couldn't kill them, they had to force them to leave. Who would have thought that when they arrived at the Destiny tribe's tribe, they would find that it was already empty? That's right. Lin Feng looked at Gong Lai. Gong Lai took a deep breath and nodded. So that's how it is. Thank you for saving us, brother Lin Feng. Western Yu's King Cheng and Ichi also reacted. Although they still found it hard to believe that Lin Feng had such strength, they were still very grateful. If Lin Feng hadn't attacked the Destiny tribe that day and besieged Wei to save Zhao, Ah Lu wouldn't have been the only one to die. At least 2 out of the 3 of them would have died in the Destiny realm. You're welcome. It was nothing. Lin Feng smiled faintly. He could roughly guess what had happened. The slightly tense atmosphere instantly disappeared. Although Gong Lai wasn't a gentleman, he wasn't a despicable person who repaid kindness with enmity. Moreover, he still considered Lin Feng a member of Tiangang in his mind. They belonged to the same force, so it was impossible for them to kill each other. Moreover, regardless of whether Lin Feng was telling the truth or not, Gong Lai and the others were still a little afraid of his unknown strength. Without strength, how could they dare to go to Liangshan? They were still 4 people in the Destiny realm, but Lin Feng was alone. Moreover, he was still alive and well. His harvest was even more than the 3 of them combined. Brother Lin, what do you plan to do with this key to the Void Gate? Gong Lai suddenly asked. Lin Feng's eyes flashed and he smiled faintly. Gong Lai's words confirmed his guess. The giant key he took out from the Void Crystal Mountain was a super treasure that was sold for 1 billion Void Crystals at the Azure Dragon Auction House. The Key to the Void Gate. Chapter 1824. I don't have any plans for now, Lin Feng replied with a smile. Countless elites from the 8 major forces were looking for the key to the Void Gate in the Destiny realm, but he was the one who got it. Although he was lucky, he should have gotten it. The Witch Prison Tribe had a total of 15 7-star powerhouses, and it was also a medium-sized Destiny Race tribe. Unless a 9-star powerhouse personally came, no force would be able to defeat this tribe. If they couldn't defeat this tribe, they couldn't enter the Space Secret Realm, let alone get the key to the Void Gate. Brother Lin, you should know the value of this key. Gong Lai's eyes flashed and he said seriously, the first key auctioned at the Blue Dragon Auction House was sold for 1 billion Void Crystals. I know. Lin Feng smiled. In fact, 1 billion Void Crystals was not attractive to him at the moment. Plus, he had wiped out the Wizard Prison Tribe and his wealth had exceeded 1 billion Void Crystals. What was the use of 1 billion Void Crystals? Brother Lin, you seem to be interested in the key more than 1 billion Void Crystals. Western Du King laughed. That's true. Lin Feng did not deny it. This answer immediately caused Gong Lai to sigh softly in his heart. Disappointment immediately appeared on his face. However, Lin Feng paused and glanced at Gong Lai, To me, the key is not that important. I'm just not interested in void crystals. Gong Lai and the other two understood. It was normal. When one's strength reached a certain level, the need for money would naturally be greatly reduced. For a 7-star expert, as long as they had enough time, they could freely enter the 18 natural danger zones without any danger. For them, although it was difficult to earn a large number of void crystals, they could get it if they put in the time. So, Brother Lin, you mean? Gong Lai asked tentatively. Lin Feng smiled. Although they did not say it explicitly, he knew what Gong Lai meant and he roughly understood what he meant. An outstanding treasure or a treasure of the same value. Lin Feng was straightforward. He was not interested in an exquisite treasure. He was like a wholesaler who had an abundance of ordinary treasures. The only thing he lacked was a treasure of a high grade. An outstanding treasure. As long as he had a compatible outstanding treasure, his strength would increase by at least 20%. 20% might be insignificant on normal days, but in the current environment, even 10% was precious. Surviving was the most important thing. An outstanding treasure. Gong Lai and the other two sucked in a deep breath and looked at each other. Hearing Lin Feng's words, Lin Feng was shocked and secretly sighed at Lin Feng's ambition, but he also knew that Lin Feng's request was reasonable. An excellent grade supreme artifact was worth between 100 million and 2 billion void crystals. Just like the key to the void gate, it was priceless and would be snatched up as soon as it appeared. Even among the 8 major forces, superior supreme treasures were quite rare and precious. 1 for 1, it was not too much to ask. However, none of them had any outstanding true treasures, even though Gong Lai was an 8-star expert. Brother Lin, can you promise me something? Gong Lai's expression was serious as he stared at Lin Feng. Brother Gong, please speak, Lin Feng said. Gong Lai said seriously, I hope Brother Lin can help me keep this key. Give me 1 year, and I will try my best to find an outstanding supreme treasure to exchange for it. Their eyes met. Lin Feng nodded. No problem. 1 year was very short. He trusted Gong Lai. If Gong Lai wanted to snatch the key, he would do it now. There was no need for him to call for reinforcements. An expert still had the demeanor of an expert. It was fine to wait for him for 1 year. Anyway, he would not leave the heavenly fate domain for the time being. Thank you, Brother Lin. I will return to Heaven Dipper now. 1 year later. Gong Lai looked at Lin Feng. Let's meet here, Lin Feng said with a smile. Okay, Brother Lin. See you again. See you again. Lin Feng sent Gong Lai and the other two away. He knew that the chances of him finding an outstanding supreme treasure were not high, but it was at least a chance for Gong Lai. Moreover, Gong Lai belonged to Heaven Dipper, one of the 8 major forces. He had many friends and connections. Perhaps he could really find one. Lin Feng smiled and did not mind. It would be good if he could find it, but it did not matter if he could not. He had nothing to lose. Wu Qing, Lin Feng said softly. Yes, master. Wu Qing appeared instantly. Her face was pale. The evolution of the Eye of Destiny had consumed too much of her energy. She was in a weak state at all times and could not fight. However, there was no doubt that she was useful. She had provided the location and information of the witch prison tribe. Otherwise, he would not have dared to attack a medium-sized heavenly fate race tribe. Can you use the Heaven's Eye? Lin Feng asked. Yes. Although Wu Qing was not sure, she still answered. Lin Feng nodded and looked at Wu Qing. Don't worry. I will not mistreat you. After using the Heaven's Eye, I will give you 5 more 7-star Eyes of Destiny. You can try your best to evolve. Thank you, Master. Wu Qing was overjoyed. In addition to the previous 13, there were a total of 18 Eyes of Destiny. To her, the possibility of evolving had increased greatly. Wu Qing was naturally happy. Although she was weak, it did not mean that she did not desire more power. Lin Feng also smiled. Although Wu Qing had caused a lot of trouble, it had already happened. There was nothing to say. The key was to increase Wu Qing's battle strength. If she could reach 8 star, it would be of great help to him. Moreover, the witch race's eye of destiny evolved by devouring. Once it failed, it would suffer a backlash and die. Wu Qing was risking her life. As her master, he could help as much as he could. A mere eye of destiny was nothing. After giving Wu Qing 5 more 7-star eyes of destiny, he still had a lot left. Wu Qing left the space secret realm. After a while, she returned. She did not change much, but her face was paler and more haggard. It was as if she had aged decades. I can't sense it, master. Wu Qing's eyes were filled with joy. Yes. Lin Feng nodded. It was as he had expected. Although the Eye of Destiny in the void had boundless magic power and could see everything, it did not seem to have intelligence. It could only see and not distinguish. He was in the space secret realm, which belonged to another space. It was not in the heavenly fate realm, so it could not sense him. Finally, I found a peaceful place. Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief. Although this space secret realm was not safe, after all, it was not far from the witch prison tribe. At least, it was a little safer than other places in the heavenly fate realm. Outside, even if he hid underground, he would not be able to hide. In the territory of the heavenly fate tribe, there was no secret about the surveillance of the huge Eye of Destiny in the void. 1 year. I will wait for Gong Lai for 1 year. I will increase my battle strength as fast as possible. Lin Feng was shocked. Whether it was him, Gong Lai, or Wu Qing, they all needed time. 1 year was not long, but it was a suitable buffer period. Chapter 1825. I have to create the last move of the Silver Plateau Saber Technique. I only have 1 year. While eating and digesting the heaven and earth fruit, Lin Feng practiced his saber technique. Even in this secret realm that wasn't monitored, a battle could happen at any time. Not to mention, time was tight and the pressure was constantly increasing. Now, Lin Feng was under a lot of pressure. He knew very well that from the moment he decided to stay in the Destiny realm, it was like dancing on the tip of a knife. He could be killed by the Destiny race at any time. However, there were pros and cons. If he could survive in such an environment, he would definitely become stronger. He had become even stronger than before. Hua! Dense light energy covered his entire body, giving Lin Feng an endless source of light. Even though the light elemental essence in the space secret realm was not as dense as in the Destiny world, the heaven and earth fruit was enough to make up for it. Although it would cause some wastage, Lin Feng didn't care. After wiping out the witch prison tribe, he now had too many heaven and earth fruit. Even if he ate them continuously for 10 years, he wouldn't be able to digest them all and turn them into energy in his body. It wasn't bad to waste them while practicing his saber technique. The more he wasted, the less time he would have to absorb the light energy that didn't increase his combat strength. Then, he would be able to absorb the second and third heaven and earth fruits faster, increasing his body's affinity with light, transforming his cells, improving his physical fitness, and so on. This kind of wastage was actually a good thing. My saber technique has already reached the peak of the heavenly path marrow. It's enough to create a 100% Silver Plateau saber technique that's comparable to the Sacred Land saber technique. Lin Feng was very confident. He kept hinting and forcing himself. Currently, the 6th move of the Silver Plateau saber technique, Light Lock, could only unleash 95% of the heavenly path marrow. There was a huge difference between 95% and 100%. Even with the strong enhancement of the light source in the Destiny realm, it still couldn't compare to the 5th move of the Sacred Land saber technique. Without restraining the Destiny race, Lin Feng's combat strength was actually between the threshold of 7-star and ordinary. However, the restraining effect on the Destiny race was enough for him to easily kill a 7-star elite Destiny race expert. He could even fight a 7-star elite Destiny race expert. Silver Plateau blade technique at 100%, combined with the Holy Land blade technique at 100% and the light rune and dark rune at the same level, my combat power will definitely surpass that of a normal 7-star even if I can't reach the level of a 7-star elite. Against the Heavens Ordained race, I don't fear anyone below 8 stars. Lin Feng thought. His blade technique was like a rainbow, and the battles with the Destiny race were clearly imprinted in his mind. Light origin condensed around his body. Under the pressure and extreme pressure, he was incomparably focused. His body's potential was constantly being excavated. Humans were a race that needed to be forced. Because human potential was limitless. Under the pressure of extreme danger, Lin Feng continuously used the Silver Plateau saber art. His understanding of the Silver Plateau saber arts and his understanding of the Great Tao of Light rapidly increased. Chi. Under the cover of the light, the saber art was like a perfect painting, becoming clearer and clearer. The target had disappeared. All of the Heaven's Fate race experts were startled, but they quickly understood. They chuckled and ignored him, returning to where they came from. After muttering a few words, they didn't say anything. What did it mean that the heavens I couldn't sense anything? He died so quickly. Yeah, I haven't played enough yet. What a pity. I wonder which tribe killed him. It should be the Witch Prison tribe. The Heaven's Eye is over there. How boring. I thought I could play for a while. The Heaven's Fate race experts laughed, not taking it seriously at all. When the 9-star expert came, they would treat it as if they were facing a great enemy. But now it was just a 7-star expert. What was he? In the eyes of the Heaven's Fate race, any of their clansmen could easily kill him. However, the storm didn't calm down. The other Heaven's Fate race experts didn't know whether Lin Feng had been killed or not, but the god of the Heaven's Fate race, their king, knew very well. In the destiny-defying palace. Yes, understood. We won't let you down, king. Kill this human as soon as possible. The 6 9-star experts of the Heaven's Fate race had ugly expressions as they bowed to the Venerable in monk robes. Seeing the Venerable in monk robes enter the purple-red eye of destiny again, the 6 experts heaved a sigh of relief. We got a scolding. How unlucky, how unlucky! This human is really cunning. He even lost our king. Did he use some kind of treasure to hide his aura? I don't know. In any case, we'll just do as our king says. How big is the Heaven's Fate realm? No matter how well he hides, he can't escape from our grasp. We can dig him out even if we dig 3 feet into the ground. Start searching from the location where the Heaven's Eye disappeared last time. Okay. The Heaven's Fate realm was shaken again. When the Heaven's Fate race experts received the order, they were all stunned and looked at each other. That 7-star human expert wasn't dead? Their king couldn't sense him? Where was he? The Heaven's Fate race experts were confused, but they didn't dare to disobey their king's order. They hurriedly mobilized their clansmen and launched another large-scale search. However, compared to the previous search, they were much more confused. When the Heaven's Fate race mobilized their entire clan, the 8 major forces and the various clans' elite teams suffered a calamity. Just like the Big Dipper team led by Gong Lai, the Heaven's Fate race was full of hostility toward other clans. Once they bumped into them, they would basically fight. They wouldn't show any mercy. How could the arrogant Heaven's Fate race lower their heads? What a joke. This was the Heaven's Fate realm, their territory. The experts of the 8 major forces complained. Originally, they hadn't encountered a single Heaven's Fate race expert for thousands of years. Now, they could see them everywhere. For a time, the Heaven's Fate realm was filled with the flames of war, and casualties were everywhere. The Heaven's Fate race experts couldn't find that human youth. Now that they saw him, they would rather kill the wrong person than let him go. However, the experts of the 8 major forces weren't to be trifled with. Generally, those who dared to come to the Heaven's Fate realm weren't weak. There were 7-star experts, and there were also 8-star experts. Inexplicably, the 8 major forces helped Lin Feng block a lot of attack. The flames of war spread widely. Although the Heaven's Fate race had a great advantage, the problem was that the 8 major forces really had a lot of people. Although the casualties weren't light, the 8 major forces could bear it evenly. On the other hand, the Heaven's Fate race had fewer clansmen. Soon, the Heaven's Fate race felt that something was wrong. Then, the Heaven's Fate race became terrified. The battle in the Heaven's Fate realm came and went quickly. The experts of the 8 major forces were naturally happy. If they had a choice, they wouldn't want to risk their lives with the Heaven's Fate race experts. If they lost, they would be unlucky. If they won, they would also be unlucky. A year's time flew by. Lin Feng, who was hiding in the space secret realm, didn't pay attention to the outside world. Naturally, he didn't know that the Heaven's Fate realm had changed greatly because of him. At this moment, he was on the verge of a critical breakthrough. Silver Plateau Saber Technique, 7th Move. Chapter 1826. Pressure could crush a person. But at the same time, pressure could also make people improve and dig out their potential to the maximum. Under the pressure of the Destiny race, Lin Feng's potential exploded to the maximum. The Silver Plateau Blade Technique and the Battle Blade Crimson Sun merged together perfectly. The light origin enveloped them, and the 2 powerful forces merged into one, turning into a dazzling radiance. In an instant, they turned into a perfect arc of light and flew out. Everywhere they passed, the radiance was unparalleled. Pung! 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 The crystal wall in front shook continuously. The power of the Fruit of Heaven and Earth had even surpassed the power of the Sacred Land Blade Technique. The entire space secret realm shook, as if there was an earthquake. The 7th move was completed. The strongest move of the Silver Plateau Blade Technique could be used for both long-range and close-range attack. This blade technique was created to kill the Destiny race. Let's call it cutting life. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly as he put away his blade. The creation of the 7th move, cutting life, had also increased his blade technique's realm. Although it was still in the realm of Heaven's Path, it seemed to have touched the edge of Heaven's Path. It was very weak and blurry. But it did not matter. At the very least, it was already a huge improvement. Inside the Witch Prison Tribe. Hey, there was a fluctuation just now? I heard it too. It came from the mountain. Let's go and take a look. In terms of sensing the environment, the Destiny race, who were good at Soul Dao, were naturally good at it. Lin Feng's previous attack was too fierce, and even the entire space secret realm shook. Even if it was just a little bit, it was still very clear to the Destiny race. In an instant, a team formed by 6 7-star Destiny clans powerhouses rushed over, and their gazes were sharp. They had smelled the scent of prey. Space secret realm. What? The Witch Prison Tribe has a space secret realm? What kind of luck is this? You still dare to hide it from us? You deserve to be destroyed. The 7-star Destiny race warriors cursed as they quickly discovered the existence of the space secret realm. This was not a difficult task for them. Even if Lin Feng did not make any noise, they would still be able to find it if they searched the Wizard Prison Tribe. Overjoyed, the 6 7-star Destiny race experts quickly entered the space secret realm. Chi. Lin Feng had the Crimson Sun in one hand and the Dark Hell Soul Severing Saber in the other, honing 2 different saber techniques. The Silver Plateau Saber Technique and the Holy Land Saber Technique each had their own strengths, and their elemental origins were also different. But it was these 2 extreme powers that could unleash great power when used together. Initial results were evident. Although the fusion of the 2 was not smooth, its power was top-notch. It was clearly stronger than the fusion of other superior elemental laws. For Lin Feng, this 1 year of cultivation was not just about his understanding of saber technique. During this period, he had consumed a large number of fruits of heaven and earth. Not only had his body strengthened, but his light aptitude had also increased by a lot. His combat strength had increased by 1 level. My current combat power has already surpassed that of a normal 7-star warrior. With my sword skills, I can compete with a 7-star elite warrior. Lin Feng was very satisfied with the increase in his strength. Where the saber came out, it revealed its loftiness. If it's a Destiny race expert, as long as he's a 7-star expert, I can fight him. Furthermore, the 7th move of the Silver Plateau Saber art is quite powerful. It's a long-range attack coupled with the unique environment of the Destiny realm. It's perfect for dealing with 6-star slaves. He could kill countless slaves with a single sweep. When he was strong enough, his attacks were often overwhelming. Suddenly, Lin Feng was slightly surprised when he sensed their auras. He turned his head and looked into the distance. The auras of 6 Destiny race experts were clearly imprinted in his mind. Their strengths varied. Among them, there were top-notch 7-star experts, 7-star elites, and even ordinary 7-star experts like himself. However, there were no 8-star experts. Just in time, Lin Feng smiled. It was normal for the space secret realm to be discovered. After all, this was the wizard prison tribe. If the Destiny race was not stupid, they would definitely start searching for him nearby. It was only a matter of time before they found him. I'll use you guys to test my saber. The 6 7-star Destiny race experts and more than 100 slaves opened the way, guarding them tightly. The powerful enslavement ability of the Destiny race often made the Destiny race experts invincible. They could attack if they advanced or retreat if they wanted to. The massive formation was enough to flatten the entire space secret realm. The 6 Destiny race experts were calm and composed as they observed the environment of the secret realm and walked forward at a moderate pace. That human won't be hiding inside, right? If that's the case, then he's really stupid. It's very likely. Last time, the Heavenly I sensed that he disappeared here. I thought he had some special treasure to hide his aura. Now, it seems like he's hiding in a cave. This guy is really stupid. How long can he hide in a cave? He'll be discovered sooner or later. It's better to run away now. Don't be careless. This human is quite capable. Split into groups of 2 and spread out. Don't let him run through the gaps, the only 7-star Destiny race expert said. The other Destiny race experts did as they were told. It was best to split into groups of 2 to avoid one-on-one fights. They could take care of each other. Besides, the battle line was stretched out like a net, not giving Lin Feng any chance to escape. Of course, what the Destiny race did not know was that Lin Feng had never thought of running away. Boom! In the blink of an eye, 2 rays of light, one white and one black, appeared. The elemental aura burst forth, and Lin Feng appeared like a ghost. There was no warning at all, which shocked the 6 Destiny race powerhouses. How is this possible? The 2 closest Destiny race experts were shocked. They could feel Lin Feng's violent aura at such a close distance. His elemental aura fluctuated violently, and they were shocked. Even with their sensing abilities, they could not sense Lin Feng's existence at such a close distance. Chi. The resplendent white light condensed with an astonishingly powerful light origin. It was like a lightsaber that slammed into the slave defense formation in front of the 2 Destiny race experts. The strength of its aura had already surpassed the 5th move of the Holy Light Saber technique. It was also 100% infused with the Heavenly Tao. However, the amplification of the environment was completely different. Boom! The 7th move of the Silver Plateau Saber technique, Life Severing, was unleashed for the first time. It had an immediate effect, directly shattering the defenses of the 6-star slave. Everything in its path was unstoppable. This was the new saber technique Lin Feng had created to deal with the Destiny race. Life Severing. Before the first wave had subsided, another wave rose. The light origin had just destroyed the slave formation when darkness enveloped them. The might of the Holy Light saber technique carried Lin Feng's killing intent and determination. His figure flashed through the battlefield and bit at the two 7-star Destiny race experts. Fast. Lin Feng did not hesitate at all. It was 1 against 6. Not only did he want to win, but he also wanted to win in a clean and straightforward manner. After a year, he was no longer the same as before. Chapter 1827. It was close combat. Stop him. Don't let him get close. The two 7-star destined race experts were scared out of their wit. The Lin Feng in front of them was completely different from the humans they had seen before. He was more domineering and decisive, but less skillful. He felt more like a demon. Boom! Rumble! Corpses piled up one after another. They were all killed by Lin Feng. The slave formation couldn't stop Lin Feng's domineering blade technique at all. The eye of destiny on the foreheads of the two 7-star destined race experts shone, and their supreme treasures attacked Lin Feng. However, the difference in strength was so great that it couldn't be overcome by supreme treasures. Bang! Chi! Once Lin Feng got close, even an 8-star destined race expert wouldn't be able to survive, let alone two 7-star destined race experts. Lin Feng's close combat power was definitely at the level of an 8-star destined race expert. The divine light pattern and the divine dark pattern intertwined on his skin. Lin Feng quickly dealt with the two 7-star destined race expert. In the next moment, the other two 7-star destined race experts arrived. Damn it! Ah Ling! The two 7-star destined race experts in the middle were the strongest. Not only were they in charge of a larger area, but they were also in charge of protecting each other. They were considered mobile forces. In other words, if one side was attacked, they would immediately rush over to help. The battle happened too quickly and too suddenly. The two strongest 7-star destined race experts reacted immediately and rushed over to help. However, in just an instant, their two companions were killed. The armored human youth didn't seem like a 7-star expert at all. His movements were quick and decisive, and his killing intent was overwhelming. It made their hearts tremble. The most terrifying thing was, he was completely unharmed. Impossible! The two 7-star destined race experts were shocked. They clearly knew how powerful the death spiritual shock was. Moreover, it had been used twice in a row. It could even kill an 8-star expert. However, this human youth didn't even react. He wasn't even injured. What was going on? The two 7-star destined race powerhouses were greatly shaken, but they didn't have the time to think any further, because Lin Feng had already started attacking them. The leader, Wu Yi, roared and summoned his precious treasure. The whole area was covered in a golden radiance, and a sonorous sound rang out. Naturally, he would not sit still and wait for death. Moreover, Wu Yi was very confident in his own strength. Clang! Countless sound wave attacks attacked from all directions from the golden light. Even though Lin Feng's willpower was astonishing, the terrifying sound wave attacks still caused his head to ring. The sound of Sanskrit resounded from all directions, like the roar of the heavens. Elite true treasure, golden fan bell. This was the Wizard Intent's strongest offensive power. He could even use this supreme treasure to fight against an 8-star Destiny race cultivator as an equal. Ah! Lin Feng roared, his face distorted. The roar aroused his strong fighting spirit. The light divine pattern and the dark divine pattern intersected, and the black vortex spun rapidly. The shocking spatial energy in the space secret realm was sucked in like a whale. Behind Lin Feng, there was even a faint shadow of a black-haired giant roaring at the heavens. The stronger the opponent, the stronger. Break for me. Lin Feng waved both of his sabers and unleashed his combat power to the maximum. The Silver Plateau saber technique and the Holy Land saber technique resonated even more. Under the strong control of the black vortex, the fusion's power had a qualitative breakthrough for the first time. The combination of black and white didn't cause an explosion immediately. Instead, it was like two giant dragons playing with a pearl. With the turbulent spatial energy as the core, they condensed and changed, and their power reached the peak in an instant. Suppress, suppress again. Veins popped out on Lin Feng's forehead. He suppressed the restless light and darkness elements. His body trembled violently, and even half a second felt like a century. If the black vortex didn't explode, it would be impossible to suppress it. However, he could forcefully suppress it now. No! Wu Yi looked at the light in front of him in shock. The golden light of his elite true treasure had been completely shattered. The next moment, an astonishing amount of heaven and earth energy shrouded the area, and the rumbling sound reached the sky. This ordinary-looking human in front of him had unimaginably powerful strength. Boom, 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 boom. The entire space secret realm shook. Lin Feng's face was pale and he was exhausted. He had used his strongest power in this attack, and its power was so shocking that even he was shocked. A 7-star elite from the Destiny race was killed instantly. Beside him, the 7-star elite from the Destiny race was heavily injured. Even with the protection of a true treasure, he was still heavily injured. It could be seen how terrifying Lin Feng's attack was. As for their 6-star slaves, they had been turned into ashes in the explosion. Not even their corpses were left behind. Die! Lin Feng's eyes sharpened. The profound light shuttle directly took the life of the heavily injured 7-star elite. In battle, he wouldn't show any mercy to his enemies. There are 2 more. Lin Feng didn't retreat. Instead, he went forward and attacked. Since they had come, he wouldn't let them go. Suppressing his injuries, he suddenly increased his speed and rushed toward the entrance of the space secret realm. They wanted to escape. Quick! Run! The 2 7-star Destiny races' faces were pale. They were terrified. They had seen Wu Yi being killed with their own eyes. That was a 7-star elite. Even if the 2 of them worked together, they still wouldn't be Wu Yi's match. However, such a powerful Wu Yi was instantly killed by this human youth. How shocking was that? Moreover, this human youth didn't fear death's soul shock at all. It was as if he had an immortal body. Facing such an opponent, they had completely lost their will to fight. They had no chance of winning. If they could escape from the space secret realm, they would have their companions outside. Perhaps they could save their lives from this terrifying human youth. The 2 7-star Destiny races elites clenched their teeth. Their backs were cold. They could feel the terrifying aura behind them getting closer and closer. They could feel the arrival of the death god. They didn't want to die. Ah! I'll fight you to the death. 2 elite true treasures were thrown out. One was an object-controlling type, while the other was an attack type. Along with the Eye of Destiny's Heaven's Will's Heaven's Illusion and Disorder, the 2 7-star Destiny races experts used all of their strength. They were not willing to just sit and wait for death. Their attacks were filled with anger and determination, but they lacked sufficient power. Bang! Bang! Lin Feng held 2 blades. Light and darkness surrounded him. 2 divine patterns intersected on his body. They condensed in a black whirlpool. He looked like an unparalleled demon god. His powerful aura displayed the power of his blade move. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Die! Lin Feng showed no mercy. Wherever his blade passed, no one was left alive. Bang! Bang! 2 more corpses fell. 2 more 7-star Destiny races elites had fallen. Lin Feng's expression was calm. He put away his treasures and the Eye of Destiny. His body flickered as he left. He was fighting 1 against 6. Even though he had suffered some light injuries, the whole battle was completed in 1 breath. It was perfect. A complete victory. Chapter 1828. It was a complete victory. If the 6 7-star Destiny race warriors worked together, they might have a chance to fight Lin Feng. However, it was only a chance. Facing Lin Feng in his best condition, they would die for sure. Lin Feng didn't expect that his power could reach such a level in the space secret realm. Gulp. After swallowing a fruit of heaven and earth, Lin Feng quickly recovered from his injuries. The absorption speed of the black whirlpool slowed down a lot, but the rich spatial energy around him had already filled it up. The black whirlpool was like an engine. When its power was high enough, and the divine pattern of light and the divine pattern of darkness could withstand it, its power would naturally be displayed. The injuries were mostly because Lin Feng's own power couldn't withstand such power. This was the first time that light and darkness had truly merged. Usually, instead of saying that it was a fusion, it was more like fighting. However, this time there was a tiny bit of fusion. Even though it was only for a short moment, the power that erupted under the extreme pressure had reached the 8-star level. Luck. Lin Feng knew clearly. Without the help of the Space Secret Realm's amazing spatial energy, he couldn't have unleashed such power. Even so, with his current power, defeating the 6 7-star Destiny Race warriors was not a problem. However, it might not be as easy as it was now, and he might not be able to kill all 6 of them. Huff, huff, Lin Feng returned to the end of the Space Secret Realm and sat down cross-legged to recover his power. If there was one, there would be 2. The Destiny Race usually acted in tribes, just like the Witch Prison Tribe. The 14 7-star Destiny Race warriors had split into 3 teams to hunt him down. Now that there was the first team, it was possible that the second, third, and even fourth teams were not far away. The deeper one went into the Destiny Realm, the fewer small tribes there were. They were usually medium-sized tribes or even large tribes, so there was no lack of powerful warriors. If one comes, I'll kill one. If 2 comes, I'll kill both. Lin Feng was burning with fighting spirit. With the help of the Space Secret Realm, his combat power had almost reached the 8-star level. He didn't want to leave like this because he would be exposed and locked on by the Heaven's Eye. It was better to wait here. Wait. Lin Feng was in no hurry. If the Destiny Race dared to kill him, then so be it. It was still uncertain who would die. Not far from the Witch Prison Tribe, a team of 6 7-star powerhouses suddenly stopped. The expression of the leader, a 7-star powerhouse of the Destiny Clan, Wu Qi, suddenly changed. "What's wrong, boss?" asked the other 7-star Destined Race expert, Wu Hezhong. "Wu Yi is dead," Wu Qi said solemnly. "What?" The expressions of the experts of the Destiny Race suddenly changed. Father should have sensed it too. Wu Qi's expression was solemn. He took a deep breath, and white light shot out from his eyes. Wu Yi was killed near the Witch Prison Tribe. Killed by that human expert? Wu Hezhong asked. "I'm not sure," Wu Qi said in a deep voice. "There are many powerhouses from the 8 major forces in the Origin Awakened continent. We can't be sure if Wu Yi has really found the human that King mentioned. He might also be killed by the powerhouses from the other forces." In his heart, Wu Qi did not believe that his younger brother, Wu Yi, would die in the hands of a 7-star human. Impossible. No matter how he thought about it, it was impossible. His younger brother, Wu Yi, was also leading a team. Although their battle strength was several times weaker than his, it was still a 7-star powerhouse team. It would be easy for them to kill a team of 7-star human experts, let alone a 7-star human expert. "Then what should we do, boss?" Wu Hezhong's voice was filled with fear. "Search." Wu Qi's eyes were cold. He was not afraid at all. What's there to be afraid of? There are no cowards in the Witch Prison Tribe. Inside the Space Secret Realm, Lin Feng's face became rosy and his paleness disappeared. With enough fruits of heaven and earth, he could recover quickly. It was only a minor injury, so it was not a big deal. The 1-year period is almost up. Brother Gong Lai should be here soon. I wonder if he has found an outstanding true treasure. Lin Feng still had some expectations for Gong Lai. After all, he had been an 8-star powerhouse for a long time and had a strong network of connections. Maybe he could really get an outstanding true treasure. If so, Lin Feng would make a big profit. Lin Feng also liked the key to the Void Gate, but it was not as good as an outstanding true treasure. What he could use now was the best. Moreover, there was more than one key to the Void Gate. Even if he sold it to Gong Lai now, he could buy another one from the Tsang Dragon auction house in the future. It was only 1 billion void crystals. He could afford it even if he had 1 billion more. That true treasure is not bad. Lin Feng recalled the battle just now. The attack of the leading 7-star Destiny Race cultivator was quite sharp. Lin Feng believed that his willpower defense was already strong enough, but he was still affected by the sound wave attack and his battle prowess was damaged. However, because of this, he could stimulate more battle strength and kill him in one move. The stronger the opponent, the stronger he could be. Lin Feng had always believed in this truth. Fighting was the best way to increase one's strength. The sound wave attack just now was almost as powerful as an outstanding true treasure, right? Lin Feng thought. Even if it was not, it was at least as powerful as an elite true treasure. With a flash of light in his hand, a golden ball appeared. The golden light was mixed with a greenish-yellow color. Fine ripples condensed on the golden ball, making it look even more mysterious. With Golden Flame Old Demon guarding by his side, Lin Feng merged with it directly. Whoosh! The golden sphere instantly transformed, and a fine ripple spread out from Lin Feng's palm like a small snake. It transformed into a golden ray of light, and one message after another appeared in his mind, incomparably clear. Elite True Treasure, Golden Bell. Soul-type True Treasure. I see. Lin Feng quickly understood the source of its power. It was an attack that triggered soul power. The characteristics of the Golden Bell were clear. Treasures that triggered soul power attacks were usually very strong. However, at the same time, it was very dangerous. After all, it was related to the soul. The slightest carelessness could cause the soul to be damaged. So when the Golden Bell was broken, that Destiny Race expert obviously paused. His soul was damaged, and he couldn't even put up a defense. Lin Feng understood. There were pros and cons. The Golden Bell could unleash power close to an outstanding true treasure, but it would also lose some invisible things. However, it was definitely a good treasure for him, because his soul was very strong. Not counting the soul damage and backlash, the Golden Bell should be as powerful as an outstanding true treasure under my control. Lin Feng was very confident. The strength of his soul was much stronger than that of a 7-star Destiny Race expert. With the Golden Bell, I have enough means to protect myself in the Space Secret Realm. I can even compete with an 8-star Destiny Race expert. Chapter 1829. After fusing with the Golden Fan Bell, Lin Feng quickly fused with another elite true treasure. Golden Skulls, Skeleton Demon. It was the first golden true treasure he'd obtained. The Heaven's Mandate race was quite rich. Lin Feng had a total of 31 elite supreme treasures to choose from. However, supreme treasures were only supplementary treasures. They did not represent one's true strength. One true treasure, when used to the extreme, might not be weaker than 31 true treasures. The Profound Light Shuttle's attack is faster, while the Skeleton Demon's attack is deeper and has a devouring effect. Lin Feng distinguished the difference between the two. In terms of pure attack power, the Skeleton Demon was stronger and more compatible with his 5th aperture ability, Savage Blood. The Skeleton Demon was compatible with the Demon Race's characteristic. However, the Profound Light Shuttle wasn't bad either. On one hand, it had the buff of the light pattern. On the other hand, the Profound Light Shuttle contained the Tao of Light Speed. It was a flying treasure, more comprehensive than the Skeleton Demon. 2 treasures for controlling objects are enough for now. There were similar ones among the other elite true treasures, but Lin Feng didn't plan to fuse with any more. He couldn't get enough of it. Even if he fused with a third one, his long-range attack power wouldn't increase much. He could use the 2 attacks alternately, and he could fly with the Profound Light Shuttle and attack with the Skeleton Demon. However, both attacks were only at the standard of an elite true treasure. If he really wanted to compare them, they wouldn't be half as powerful as the golden fanbell. I'll focus on cultivating the golden fanbell and master its ability as soon as possible. Lin Feng pursed his lips, and his eyes lit up. He knew very well that the space secret realm couldn't be hidden for long. It was only a matter of time before it was exposed. Before that, he had to increase his strength as soon as possible. The stronger, the better. Even if he left the space secret realm, he had to have the ability to fight against an 8-star destiny race great being. Only then could he save his life. Ta. 6 figures landed in front of the space secret realm. They were Wu Qi's team of 7 stars. Wu Qi, who was in the lead, looked more murderous and aggressive than his brother, Wu Yi. "Is that human hiding in there, boss?" Wu Hezhong asked. "Yes, I'm sure." Wu Qi nodded. "Are we going in?" Wu Hezhong was hesitant. Wu Qi glanced at him coldly. "A mere 7-star human powerhouse, what's there to be afraid of?" "But," Wu and Zhongji said hesitantly. Wu Qi said coldly, "I know what you want to say. Remember, witchcraft intent is witchcraft intent. I am me. Moreover, in terms of team strength, we are at least 3 times stronger. Moreover, no one knows what the situation was at that time. Wu Yi's death is most likely an accident. I don't believe that this 7-star human has the ability to kill our entire team. Go." With that, Wu Qi stepped into the space secret realm. The rest of the Heavenly Fate clan experts naturally followed his lead. As their figures disappeared, the space secret realm seemed to have closed its door, and it fell silent once more. That day, Wu Yi and the 6 7-star Destiny clan cultivators had done the same. Another 6? Lin Feng smiled in surprise. The 6 7-star Destiny race warriors were almost the same as before. The only difference was that the average power of the team had increased. This time, 2 of the 6 7-star Destiny race warriors were at the peak of 7-star, while the other 4 were 7-star elite. The average power was quite good. Coincidentally, my power has also increased during this time. Lin Feng smiled and stood up. The second battle. The increase in power gave Lin Feng full confidence. With his current power, no matter how many 7-star Destiny race warriors came, he would not be afraid. Even if he could not beat them, he could run away. Using battle to nurture battle. The acquisition of elite true treasures continued to increase Lin Feng's power. The increase in pure power was not much, but the combination of various true treasures made Lin Feng more comprehensive. There were no blind spots. Whether it was close combat, long-range attacks, control, defense, or even soul attacks, he had everything. Boom, boom, boom. The space secret realm shook, bearing a huge impact and fluctuation. Fortunately, it was inside the space secret realm. Even if the secret realm was torn apart, there would only be slight fluctuations in the outside world. Wu Qi's group of 6 was more cautious than Wu Yi's group. From the beginning to the end, they had not separated. The 6 of them formed a line, and attacking any one of them would immediately lead to being surrounded by the Destiny race warriors. Facing such a situation, Lin Feng could only attack forcefully. Golden Bell. When the soul-shaking bell rang, the golden light shrouded the area. All the Destiny race warriors' faces changed. Their hearts trembled, and they felt a deep sense of fear. It was as if they were being summoned from another world. Damn it! Wu Qi gritted his teeth, and his eyes turned white. He was well aware of the power of the golden fan bell because this treasure belonged to his younger brother, Wu Yi. At that time, he also wanted this treasure, but because Wu Yi's soul power was stronger, his father gave this treasure to his younger brother. But now, this treasure was being used to deal with him. Ah! Wu Qi's body shone brightly, as if he had turned into a man of light. His armor of light sparkled, and he held a light saber in his hand. His whole body expanded, and he roared. Clang! Wherever the light saber went, the space secret realm was broken. Heavenly Tao connection. Wu Qi's pale eyes shone with a sharp light. He had started this battle with absolute strength. He was not an ordinary destiny race cultivator, but one who specialized in the Tao of light. He was one of the few close combat cultivators among the destiny race. Peak 7-star. Lin Feng felt the pressure. He vaguely remembered that when he fought with the deadly extreme team in the Heaven Realm Mountain, the big-headed Swan and I was a peak 7-star. Back then, he was no match for him, so he could only enter the Destiny Realm. But now, things had changed, and things were different. What a powerful saber! What a powerful attack! Lin Feng retreated 3 feet. The diamond-like white light saber exploded with a strong piercing power. It was unsuitable and irrational to fight against this opponent right now because there were 5 other experts of the Destiny race apart from him. The Destiny race warriors' strength was not their close combat ability, but their spiritual and soul power. Destiny I. If he fought with this Destiny race warrior in front of him, he would soon be surrounded. When the time came, he would not even be able to escape. Let's deal with the others first. Lin Feng was like a dazzling light, directly attacking the other 5 Destiny race warriors. Whoosh! The golden light shone even brighter. Lin Feng raised his saber, and the black vortex absorbed the spatial energy to its limit. He entered the best battle state. Waves of soul attacks came from all directions, like the singing of a soul singer. The power of the Golden Fane Bell was undeniable. Every Destiny race warrior was under great pressure. Their slaves, in particular, were in a terrible state. The 5-star slaves had almost completely lost their ability to fight, and the 6-star slaves were on the verge of collapse. They could do nothing but defend. In this group battle, the Golden Fane Bell revealed its true value. It was a top-grade, exquisite treasure. Chapter 1830. If not for the Golden Fan Bell, Lin Feng would have escaped long ago. There was no chance of winning in a head-on battle, especially when the Destiny race had a 7-star top close combat fighter. Against a team of 6 7-star Destiny race fighters, 5+1 and 6+0, there was a huge difference. Especially the strength of this one, which was quite strong. He was no weaker than Bayan that day. Perhaps in terms of physical fitness, the Destiny race fighters were slightly weaker, but their talents were quite good. The bloodline of the Eye of Destiny made their strength more comprehensive. Moreover, the Destiny race fighters had many treasures. Wu Qi had 1 elite true treasure and 2 ordinary true treasures. Their combined combat strength was stronger than Bayan's. If not for the Golden Fan Bell, he would have entangled Lin Feng long ago. But now, he had to resist the Golden Fan Bell's invincible chanting while chasing after Lin Feng, who was faster than him. Wu Qi was struggling. Damn it, I didn't expect the Golden Fan Bell to fall into his hands. Wu Qi gritted his teeth. He didn't expect his brother's Golden Fan Bell to be used against him in the end. Moreover, this human was even better at using the Golden Fan Bell than his brother. Not only was the range larger, but the single attack was also sharper. Wu Qi was very clear about what this meant. This human fighter's soul power was quite terrifying. Even Wu Qi was having a hard time, let alone the other 7-star Destiny race cultivators. Lin Feng was picking on the weak ones, and he killed them one by one. Even their slaves fell in droves. Shock and fear. Impossible! How can he not be afraid of the death soul shock? Wu Qi's eyes widened in shock. This was the first time he had seen someone kill his clansmen so easily. Seeing his companions fall one by one, the terror in his heart grew even stronger. His head buzzed. At this moment, Wu Qi finally knew how his younger brother, Wu Yi, had died. The Death Soul Shock was the trump card of the Destiny race in Origin Awakened Continent. Now that the trump card had lost its effect, the Destiny race's combat strength was greatly reduced. All of their weaknesses seemed to appear in front of him. Chi! Chi! Lin Feng raised his saber and slashed down mercilessly, swiftly killing one Destiny race expert after another. Soon, Wu Qi was the only one left on the battlefield. It was a one-on-one battle. It seemed easy, but in fact, Lin Feng was not that relaxed. While blocking Wu Qi's attack, the Golden Fanzhong had consumed a great deal of his soul energy, causing him to feel a little weak. Fortunately, the 10,000 origin mustard stone's energy kept pouring into his knowledge sea, nourishing his soul energy. The destiny race had a trump card. Lin Feng also had a trump card. Although the consumption of soul energy couldn't be quickly replenished, the nourishment of the 10,000 origin mustard stone could quickly repair the soul, allowing Lin Feng to quickly recover and not fall into a weakened state for too long. Status would affect the battle. This was the case for Wu Qi. He was a 7-star top-notch martial artist, yet he was powerless to do anything when he saw his clansmen being killed by Lin Feng one after another. His mental state had long since lost its balance, especially when Lin Feng's strength hadn't weakened at all. He wasn't even injured. He wasn't even afraid of death's soul attack. He's not human. Wu Qi felt a chill in his heart. Under such circumstances, his combat power was greatly affected. He was lucky to be able to use half of his strength as a 7-star top-notch martial artist. Facing Lin Feng, who was as ferocious as a tiger or leopard, his fighting spirit was inferior. Although he had a stronger saber technique realm, Wu Qi was quickly defeated and killed by Lin Feng. Escape? In terms of speed, he was a few streets behind Lin Feng. It's over. Lin Feng let out a sigh of relief. Apart from his slightly pale face, he wasn't even injured this time. Compared to the previous battle, the opponent this time was stronger and had taken more time. However, it was easier to win. It's all thanks to this. The golden fanzhong in Lin Feng's hand flashed, and fine ripples rolled on the golden ball. The lines were beautiful and smooth, and the entire ball was flawless. It contained an amazing soul resonance power. Elite true treasure, the golden fanzhong. Although it consumed a lot of energy and had side effects, these drawbacks were within the acceptable range for him. He was very satisfied with the power of the golden fanzhong. In his hands, it was almost comparable to an excellent true treasure. If I really have an excellent true treasure, how much can my combat power increase? Lin Feng smiled, knowing that there wasn't much hope. Elite true treasures were rare in the Origin Awakening continent, let alone excellent true treasures. On the other hand, there might be some in the Destiny domain. After all, the treasures in the Destiny domain were quite amazing. Contentment was bliss. Lin Feng quickly collected the Eye of Destiny and true treasures, then returned to the end of the space secret realm to cultivate and recover his strength. On the one hand, he needed to nourish his consumed soul power. On the other hand, the battle with the leader of the close combat Destiny race had made him understand more about his saber technique. The other party's saber technique realm was above his, reaching the heavenly path realm. And this saber of light. Lin Feng held Wu Qi's lightsaber, his eyes flashing. This saber was snow white and translucent, like a pearl crystal diamond. It looked very fragile, but it wasn't. This saber of light was quite sturdy. It was an elite true treasure level saber. It's time to change my saber. Lin Feng took out Crimson Sunday. Crimson Sun's battle blade sparkled. Although it suited him well, it was only a pinnacle chaos treasure. Compared to this elite true treasure battle blade, it was like a firefly compared to the light of the sun and moon. He hadn't changed his saber before because there wasn't a suitable one. Moreover, a new saber needed to be used again and again. Only by resonating with each other in battle could a true fit be established. He had used the Black Hell soul-severing saber and Jiangri for a long time, so whether the saber was suitable for him was also very important. But now, it was time to change his saber. As his strength increased, it was difficult for the Black Hell soul-severing saber and Jiangri to unleash their full combat power. They might still be able to unleash more than 90% of their power now, but in the future it might only be 80%, 70% and less. 7-star experts should use true treasures. In terms of strength, 6-star experts and above were the kings of the black domain, above the masters of the black domain. 6-star experts could unleash the full potential of peak chaos whole dark treasures. 7-star experts had already surpassed the power level of peak chaos whole dark treasures. In the destiny realm, the light element is rich, and the origin power is extremely strong. Using light-type power in battle will be twice the result with half the effort. Lin Feng stroked the saber gently, his eyes burning. Perhaps he couldn't unleash 100% of this saber's power for the time being, but the environment and terrain were enough to make up for it. Moreover, there would be no lack of battles in the destiny realm. With each battle, it was only a matter of time before his bloodline fused perfectly with the saber's power. Come! Lin Feng's eyes lit up as he activated the new light-type saber. Whoosh! A resplendent light lit up, illuminating the entire space mystic realm. Elite True Treasure, Eclipse Mystic Saber. Chapter 1831. The Eclipse Mystic Saber contained 3 levels of the Eclipse Mystic Saber. With each level activated, the saber's power would increase, and its special abilities would be unlocked. But even if it was not activated, the Eclipse Mystic Saber's power was much stronger than Jiangri. The key was the compatibility between the user and the saber. Chi. Lin Feng quickly waved his saber, and rays of light origin energy burst out. Waves of power spread out without reservation. There were no restrictions. The Eclipse Mystic Saber could withstand the power of light. Previously, when he used the divine pattern of light to attack with Jiangri, there was a feeling of difficulty. It was like sprinting with all his might, but his body could not keep up. But now, that feeling had disappeared. It was like plunging into a vast ocean. No matter how much power you had, the ocean could withstand it. It was a wonderful feeling. He could use all his strength to the best of his ability. When I use the Silver Plateau Saber technique, the power will increase by at least 20%. Lin Feng felt the connection in his bloodline. The Eclipse Mystic Saber's attack power was very strong, but it needed time to activate the secret technique. It's a pity that I can't use the time cultivation array here. If he could, he would have plenty of time to cultivate. But the space mystic realm was very special. There was a force suppressing the time cultivation array, so he could not use it. The 2 types of arcane laws might repel each other. Lin Feng vaguely understood. The space mystic realm here was filled with very strong spatial laws that restricted the entire space. The time cultivation array also contained very strong temporal laws. Therefore, there seemed to be some conflict between the 2. Of course, this could be resolved. After all, even the laws of light and darkness could be merged. Even if space and time were arcane laws, they would definitely be able to resonate. The simplest thing was that space and time in the universe were one. This was the most fundamental existence. But now, he could not solve this problem with his strength. If he left the space mystic realm, he could enter the time cultivation array, but his whereabouts would be exposed. Being exposed under the surveillance of the huge eye of destiny in the void was simply courting death. One step at a time. I'll recover my strength first and familiarize myself with the Eclipse Mystic Saber. His priority was to strengthen his combat ability. Lin Feng was very clear that these 2 groups weren't the only ones coming. As time passed, more and more Destiny race experts would arrive. As long as he didn't die, more and more Destiny race experts would come. If the Destiny tribe wanted to kill him, they would have to pay a heavy price. Within the mountains, a group of Heavenly Fate clan experts was speeding along. They were one of the many Heavenly Fate clan teams that were searching for Lin Feng, and they were not far from the Shaman prison tribe. This was because the Voodoo tribe they were in was relatively close. This group was quite powerful. There were a total of 9 experts, and the leader was an 8-star Destiny race expert. His pale eyes were divided into 8 branches, and he was terrifyingly powerful. He had 6 7-star slaves. Just him alone was comparable to a powerful team. This was why the Destiny race was so powerful. If a 9-star Destiny race warrior had an 8-star servant, then a single Destiny race warrior would be equivalent to an entire army. This was no joke. The chief had the same name as the shaman. Damn it! At this moment, Shaman Zhongming didn't have the usual demeanor of an expert. Blue veins popped out on his bald head. His destiny eye opened a slit, looking extremely ferocious. Shaman intent. Wu Qi. Shaman Zhongming was so angry that his whole body trembled. His heart was bleeding. His 2 children, the successors of the Voodoo tribe, had both lost their telepathy. In other words, they were all dead. The Shaman prison tribe. That human must be hiding in the Shaman prison tribe. As an 8-star expert, Shaman Zhongming's perception was much stronger than Wu Qi's. He could clearly sense Lin Feng's location. A group of 9 Destiny race experts came in a mighty manner. This team could almost wipe out any of the 8 forces in the Destiny realm. An 8-star expert was already a famous figure in the Origin Awakened continent. Generally speaking, 9-star experts rarely appeared. It was the same whether it was the Origin Awakened continent or the Destiny realm. You killed my children! Human, I'll make you wish you were dead. Suffer the wrath of the Voodoo tribe. Wu Zhongming was like a wild beast that had gone berserk. His berserk aura spread out, causing the surrounding Destiny tribe cultivators to shudder. They rarely saw their chief like this. He was really angry. At this moment, Lin Feng, who was in the space mystic realm, didn't know that danger had arrived. Although he was strong, there was still a big gap between him and an 8-star expert. Even with a treasure like the Golden Fan Bell, his combat power was only at the peak of 7-star, touching the threshold of 8-star. Compared to a real 8-star expert, there was still a gap. Lin Feng didn't care. He guessed that if he hid here, he would be discovered by an 8-star expert sooner or later. So what? Would he not be discovered by an 8-star expert if he left the space mystic realm? Some things couldn't be avoided even if you wanted to. Since he couldn't avoid it, he might as well accept it calmly and face it with his strongest strength and best condition. At least in the space mystic realm, the black vortex could unleash its strongest power and stimulate his bloodline. Outside the space mystic realm, he couldn't defeat a peak 7-star expert without the Golden Fan Bell. However, in the space mystic realm, he could defeat a peak 7-star expert even without the Golden Fan Bell. With the Golden Fan Bell, he could almost touch the threshold of 8-star. This was the difference. Phew! Lin Feng let out a long breath. His expression was normal. Both his mental state and mental state were better than before. He had used the Golden Fan Bell for too long in the previous battle and had used up too much of his soul energy. Fortunately, he had the 10,000 Origin Mustard Stone to nurture it and recover in a short time. One had to know that heaven and earth fruits related to soul energy were very rare. Lin Feng had swept through several Destiny race tribes, but he hadn't seen one. In the Origin Awakened continent, soul-related heaven and earth fruits were very valuable. Eclipse Mystic Saber. Lin Feng took out a battle saber that contained rich light origin energy and looked like a dazzling crystal. There were patterns on the saber that were hidden by the dazzling light. Upon closer inspection, the saber actually had 3 layers of patterns, each deeper than the last. They represented the Eclipse Mystic Saber's 3 layers of secret patterns and 3 layers of power. To activate the secret patterns, one needs enough light origin energy and one needs to have a high enough level of light realm attainment. After activating the first layer, the Eclipse Mystic Saber's power will increase by 100% and it will have the Eclipse special effect. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Although he didn't know what the Eclipse special effect was, since this light-type battle saber was called the Eclipse Mystic Saber, the Eclipse special effect naturally wouldn't be bad. Come! Lin Feng quickly activated the first secret pattern. Chapter 1832. Whoosh! Divine runes of light glowed on Lin Feng's body as he rapidly absorbed the element of light and poured it into the Eclipse Mystic Sieve blade. However, it was just a drop in the bucket for the first level of secret runes. There's too little light element in the space secret region. Lin Feng knew this clearly. Although there was plenty of light element in the Destiny realm, he wouldn't waste time absorbing it just to open the first level of the secret runes. After all, it would take a lot of time. The fastest way would be light elemental fruit of heaven and earth. Lin Feng swallowed a fruit of heaven and earth that contained rich light element. It shone brightly as endless light energy surged into the Eclipse Mystic Knife. Shwa! The Eclipse Mystic Sieve blade vibrated gently, greedily absorbing the light elemental energy. Holding the Eclipse Mystic Sieve blade, Lin Feng felt a sense of connection and smiled. The stronger the connection, the better. Lin Feng was moved. This pomegranate-sized fruit of heaven and earth not only had rich light energy, but it also improved his light senses and body quality. Before, it would take a long time to digest a light elemental fruit of heaven and earth. Because the light energy contained in it was too strong, it would take a long time for him to absorb it. But now, the Eclipse Mystic Knife was absorbing all the energy, which made it more convenient for him. The white diamond shone, making the Eclipse Mystic Knife look very beautiful. The light element kept accumulating, filling up the energy needed for the secret runes. Only then would the light attainment decide whether the secret runes of the Eclipse Mystic Knife could be opened. Rather than calling it a condition, it was more of a recognition. The Eclipse Mystic Knife recognized its owner. Humans had their pride, and so did their sabers. The Eclipse Mystic Sieve saber, in particular, was a top-tier existence even among exquisite true treasures. Naturally, it was proud and unyielding. If all 3 layers of secret engravings were activated, the Eclipse Mystic Sieve saber would not be much weaker than an excellent true treasure. This light elemental battle knife had been passed down in the Wu Li God tribe. Chief Wu Zhong had given his 2 best true treasures to his 2 sons. One was the Golden Bell, and the other was the Eclipse Mystic Knife. There were also good and bad exquisite true treasures. Weak exquisite true treasures might not even be comparable to top-tier ordinary true treasures, while top-tier exquisite true treasures could be comparable to ordinary excellent true treasures. For example, the Golden Fan Bell and the Eclipse Mystic Sieve Saber. However, in order to be comparable to ordinary excellent true treasures, both of them had to pay a great price. The former required soul energy, while the latter required 3 layers of secret inscriptions. The requirements were extremely harsh, one after the other. Lin Feng quickly swallowed the fruits of heaven and earth. Having a sufficient amount of light elemental fruits of heaven and earth was extremely useful at this moment. If he only relied on absorbing light elements from the outside world, even 10,000 years might not be enough. It's about time. Lin Feng could feel that the first layer of the secret pattern was gradually saturated. At this moment, under the War Blade crystal diamond, traces of the pattern appeared. It was smooth and contained an endless mysterious aura. It was like a sleeping beast that was about to awaken. Activate! Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. His powerful light attainments condensed on the Eclipse Secret Sieve blade. In a split second, fine veined patterns could be seen with the naked eye vibrating gently, turning into ripples. Pa, pa. The fine veined patterns collapsed, revealing even deeper veined patterns. There were at least hundreds of thousands of them. At this moment, the light elements in the secret pattern gathered. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly as he controlled the 6 perfect great Tao of light perfectly. Pung! Pa! Pa! The secret pattern slowly cracked, turning into extreme energy, lighting up the Eclipse Secret Sieve blade. The crystal-like color gradually changed, becoming denser as if it was dyed with a faint layer of white. It was like a haze, extremely attractive. What a powerful light energy! Lin Feng could already feel it at this moment. As the secret pattern dissipated, It was like the seal on the Eclipse's secret sieve blade had been released. A ferocious light beast opened its eyes. With a 100% increase, the light energy was abundant and powerful. Ha! Lin Feng roared. In an instant, the Eclipse's secret sieve blade shone brightly, and the remaining secret patterns all cracked. Rays of light burst out from the blade, and a faint layer of white light condensed on the blade. Transformation. The first secret pattern of the Eclipse's secret sieve blade was activated. Eclipse special effect. Lin Feng muttered softly as he casually brandished the Eclipse's secret sieve blade. The blade beam suddenly appeared, absorbing the light source like a whale swallowing it, turning it into its own energy. It weakened the enemy's strength and reduced his own consumption. A weapon for group battles. Lin Feng smiled, but he knew that the Eclipse special effect was actually very ordinary. It was too targeted. It only targeted warriors who used the Tao of Light. It didn't have any amplification effect on other elemental Tao. Furthermore, in a one-on-one battle, even if it weakened the opponent's strength and reduced his own consumption, it wouldn't be of much use. After all, one-on-one battles were rarely protracted. Victory and defeat were usually decided very quickly. Clang! The Eclipse's secret sieve blade vibrated like a dragon's roar. Lin Feng's eyes lit up as he gripped the blade tightly, feeling the fluctuations in his heart. The special effect was secondary. The key was the Eclipse's secret sieve blade itself. Compared to before the secret pattern was activated, it was 100% stronger. The current Eclipse Mystic Sieve Saber's form had undergone an earth-shattering change. Originally, the Eclipse secret sieve blade was already considered above average among elite true treasures. Now it should be above average. Lin Feng casually brandished the blade, feeling a faint sense of anticipation in his heart. There were still 2 more secret patterns. Once fully activated, how powerful would the Eclipse secret sieve blade be? It might be comparable to an excellent true treasure. Lin Feng thought to himself. He was very satisfied with the Eclipse secret sieve blade's ability. Although its special effect was a bit weak, it was better than nothing. Familiarize yourself with the blade technique. Lin Feng nodded. The brand new Eclipse secret sieve blade had a brand new connection. Although the Eclipse secret sieve blade would be stronger after activating the second secret pattern, it was a bit difficult for him to activate it with his current light attainments. He estimated that he would only be able to activate it if his light attainments were close to perfection. Moreover, activating the second secret pattern required 10 times more energy than activating the first secret pattern. With the remaining fruits of heaven and earth, it was far from enough. Even though it has the power of an outstanding true treasure, I still have a long way to go before I can unleash its full potential. Lin Feng chuckled, not minding it at all. How could a real outstanding true treasure be so easy to obtain? At least now, he had something to look forward to and a goal. It will be a year in a few days. Brother Gong Lai should be here soon. Lin Feng believed that even if he did not get the excellent true treasure in the end, he would at least come and inform him. The possibility is less than 10%. Lin Feng did not have much hope. After all, it was an excellent true treasure. In the Origin Awakened continent there were too many monks and too little gruel. Elite true treasures were all over the place, let alone excellent true treasures that were rare even in the Destiny realm. Chapter 1833. What Lin Feng didn't know was that Gong Lai's group of 5 had already arrived. However, before entering the Witch Prison Tribe, they encountered a team of Destiny Tribe experts. If it was only them, the 3 of them would have died here. Fortunately, Gong Lai had learned his lesson and found 2 more good helpers. One of them was even stronger than him. The organization's information is right. The Destiny Tribe is searching for a martial artist. The one who spoke was an old man with white hair and a youthful face. His energy surged like the Count of the Wind. He was Gong Lai's master, Misty Cloud. He was also an 8-star expert, but he was twice as strong as Gong Lai and held a high position in the Heaven Star border. A martial artist. Gong Lai's heart skipped a beat. He inexplicably thought of Lin Feng's appearance, but he shook his head again. How could it be? The entire tribe was searching for a 7-star human? It should be someone else. Gong Lai, Western Yu King, and I Chi looked at each other and thought of the same thing. They clearly knew that the last time something like this happened, they were searching for a 9-star expert. Master, do you know who it is? The one who spoke was a beautiful woman. She had long braids and a pair of silver-white eyes that seemed to be able to speak. She had a short tail behind her. She was a 7-star expert, Mei Yen. I'm not sure. Misty Cloud Child shook his head and frowned slightly, but now is definitely not a good time to enter the Destiny realm. The Destiny race is arrogant and ruthless by nature. Before we find that martial artist, it's easy to have a conflict with other forces. Fortunately, Master is here. Gong Lai heaved a sigh of relief. They had just met a group of 9 Destiny Tribe experts. The leader was an 8-star expert with a ruthless face. If it was only him, Western Yu King and I Chi would have been in trouble. Even without me, they shouldn't have fought. Misty Cloud stepped on the wind and said slowly, according to the organization's information, there have been many conflicts in the Destiny Tribe in the past year, but they have all calmed down. As long as we don't provoke the Destiny Tribe, they won't provoke us. After all, the 8 forces working together is no joke. The Destiny Tribe doesn't have the guts to openly go against the 8 forces. Once a war breaks out, even the Destiny Tribe will be razed to the ground. The Destiny race wasn't strong enough to incur the wrath of the masses. Gong Lai nodded and said gratefully, "No matter what, I still have to thank Master for accompanying us on this trip." Misty Cloud Master stroked his beard and smiled. "It has nothing to do with you. I also want to see who this human youth of our Big Dipper is." "Master, you will see him soon. He is really powerful," Gong Lai praised. "That's right. It's said that he was the one who destroyed the Witch Prison Tribe," the king of Western Melancholy said. "You must be lying." Mei Yen pinched her nose in disbelief. "It's true, Sister Mei." I Chi was slightly excited. "He's very powerful. He even saved our lives." Mei Yen snorted. She still did not believe him. Misty Cloud smiled and said, "It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. We will see him soon anyway." Misty Cloud smiled and said, "I am also very curious." The 5 of them sped along at an extremely fast speed. Soon, they approached the Wizard Prison Tribe. "Wait!" Misty Cloud Master's expression changed slightly. He stepped on a cloud and his expression became serious. "What's wrong, Master?" Gong Lai looked serious. "It's them," Misty Cloud Master said in a low voice. "Them?" Gong Lai and the other 3 were confused. Misty Cloud Master's eyes sparkled as he looked into the distance. "The 9 Destiny race experts we just met are right in front of us." "What?" Gong Lai and the other 3 were shocked. "Why are they here?" I Chi's face turned pale. "What a coincidence!" The king of Western Melancholy's voice trembled. "Maybe it's not a coincidence." Gong Lai frowned and said hesitantly. Misty Cloud Master looked into the distance and said, "They seem to be going up the mountain. It seems that their goal is the same as ours. The space secret realm. Brother Lin Feng should still be inside, right?" The king of Western Melancholy looked at Gong Lai. Gong Lai's expression was heavy. Brother Lin is a man of his word. Today is the 1-year period. He shouldn't have left. Then what should we do? I Chi was anxious. If the 9 Destiny race monsters go in, Lin Feng will be dead for sure. Misty Cloud Master looked serious and said nothing. Apparently, he was thinking. "Master." Gong Lai looked at Misty Cloud Master, but the latter didn't reply. Gong Lai's breathing was somewhat hurried. He clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. His chiseled face revealed a hint of resoluteness as he looked at Wang Jie and I Chi. The two of them were slightly startled and immediately understood Gong Lai's thoughts. Everyone lived and died together. Sometimes a look was enough. Let's go. Gong Lai shot out like a sharp arrow and went straight to the space secret realm. Although the king of Western melancholy and I Chi's expressions were ugly, they still followed. They weren't ungrateful people. A small favor should be repaid with a big spring. Their lives were saved by Lin Feng that day. How could they leave him in the lurch? In Gong Lai's mind, Lin Feng was still in the space secret realm because he had an appointment with him. He was responsible. Whether he succeeded or not, he had to save Lin Feng. Master Wei. Mei Yen looked at Misty Cloud Master hesitantly. Follow them. Misty Cloud Master pondered and nodded. In an instant, the two followed Gong Lai and the other two into the space secret realm. At this moment, inside the space secret realm, Lin Feng stood up and sheathed his saber. His eyes were as bright as two stars. He looked at the entrance with a calm expression. He thought that today was the day of the appointment and that he would meet Gong Lai and the other two. He didn't expect that it would be the Destiny Race's expert. He didn't suspect that the three of them had betrayed him. This space secret realm wasn't a secret. The Destiny Race's experts would come sooner or later. However, he didn't expect them to come so quickly and in so many numbers. Looks like it's time to run for our lives. Lin Feng smiled slightly and looked relaxed. Although they were facing a great enemy and the 8-star Destiny Race's experts were eyeing them covetously, it was useless to be nervous and afraid. What would come in the end. He wasn't even a match for an 8-star Destiny Race's expert, let alone 3 7-star experts and 5 7-star elite. This team of 9 Destiny Race's experts was too terrifying. Fortunately, my strength has improved greatly this year. Although I can't beat them, escaping shouldn't be a problem. Lin Feng was already prepared. This was a battle that he couldn't win. His goal was simple: to break out of the encirclement. As long as he could leave the space secret realm, even an 8-star expert wouldn't be able to stop him with his explosive power and brilliant shuttle. Actually, it was time for him to leave. Let's go. Lin Feng held the Eclipse Secret Civ Saber and rushed out like a ray of light. Chapter 1834. Qi Hong, guard the left. Qi Huang, guard the right. Wu Zhongming's expression was cold. His eyes were like blades as he scanned the area in front of him, not letting go of even the slightest clue. He was very sure that Wu Qi and Wu Yi had died here. Traces of battle could be seen everywhere in the secret realm. He would never let that human youth escape. The 9 Destiny tribe members were divided into 3 groups. Wu Zhongming was in the middle, his expression stern and his aura surging. Just like Wu Yi's decision that day, Wu Zhongming planned to encircle Lin Feng. The difference was that this time, Wu Zhongming's team was far stronger than Wu Yi's team. The left and right sides were guarded by 7-star elites and 2 7-star elite. The combat power of each side was comparable to Wu Yi's team. Want to break out? Wu Zhongming, who was in the middle, was an 8-star elite and the chief of the Wu Yi God tribe. Could Lin Feng break out? Lin Feng had no confidence at all before fusing with the Golden Bell, but now he was full of confidence. In the end, you still underestimated me. A golden light flashed in Lin Feng's hand. After opening the 5th aperture, he could hide his aura from the 8-star Destiny tribe members. Wu Zhongming naturally couldn't sense his presence. That was the key. Otherwise, his position would be locked before he could attack, and he would be in an extremely passive position. The Destiny tribe members were very good at controlling the situation. They had servants who didn't fear death and all kinds of treasures. It could be said that if Lin Feng faced Wu Zhongming's team of Destiny tribe members, he wouldn't have a chance to escape. But now it was different. Golden Bell. Lin Feng went straight for the leftmost position. Lin Feng activated the Golden Bell. Its power was comparable to that of an 8-star Destiny tribe member, or even stronger. But this time, he didn't cover all the Destiny tribe members. Even if he could, the Golden Bell would still be a threat to the other 6 Destiny tribe members. But now, his goal was to break out and kill 3 of them. If the Destiny tribe wanted to kill him, they would have to pay the price. Buzz. The sound of a bell rang out right in front of them, and the golden radiance turned into visible sound waves. It concentrated all of its power and bombarded the 3 Destiny race powerhouses on the left. Its power instantly multiplied again and again. Lin Feng's goal was clear and direct. Bang! In the blink of an eye, a large number of 5-star and 6-star slaves collapsed, and the 2 7-star elites coughed up blood. Even the 7-star elite Tian Fated Race's elite turned pale at this unexpected turn of events. Chi! 2 beams of light, one white and one gold, shot towards the 2 7-star elites of the Destiny race. They were the Profound Light Shuttle and the Skeleton Demon. The Eclipse Secret Luo blade in Lin Feng's hand glowed brightly as the light origins spread out and attacked Wu Qihong, the 7-star elite of the Destiny race. All of the servants were affected by the Golden Fane Bell, and the 3 Destiny race warriors were like generals without an army. Close combat and defense had never been the strong points of the Destiny race, not to mention that Lin Feng had made the first move. He had summoned the Golden Fan Bell and taken the initiative. If the 3 Destiny race experts had used their ultimate treasures first, the result might have been completely different. But there were no ifs in a battle. The Profound Light Shuttle was faster, but its power was slightly weaker. It only managed to severely injure one of the 7-star elite. The Skeleton Demon attacked with the power of the 5th Aperture's Berserker blood. It was like a lion devouring the 7-star elite. At this moment, Lin Feng's Silver Plateau Saber technique was the most powerful attack. The Eclipse Mystic Civ Saber, which had activated the first layer of secret patterns, slashed down at close range and went straight for the 7-star top-notch expert. Lin Feng did not use his strongest light and darkness fusion ability because it would require more time. It would not be wise to use it in a situation where every second mattered. He could clearly sense that the strongest 8-star Destiny Clan expert had already arrived not too far away. It arrived almost instantly. Chi! Lin Feng killed the 7-star elite of the Destiny race. With his previous strength, it was impossible for him to kill a 7-star elite of the Destiny race with enhanced defense, even if the enemy didn't have any servants or guards. But now, he had done it. The Eclipse Mystic Civ Saber greatly increased Lin Feng's individual attack power. Although the overall increase in combat power was not that great, the soul-severing Saber of the Black Hell was at a higher level after all. The fusion of light and darkness required the two to maintain the same level of power. However, the increase in light power and Silver Plateau Saber technique made Lin Feng's battle power more comprehensive and stable. Now that he used the Eclipse Secret Luo blade, its power was almost close to that of the fusion of light and darkness. Of course, that was under normal conditions, not the power of the Black Vortex. In the blink of an eye, 2 of the 3 7-star Destiny race warriors were killed and 1 was injured. "You're courting death." A thunderous roar resounded in the distance. It was the chief of the sorcerer tribe, Wu Chongming. The eye of destiny on his forehead opened ferociously. Its 8 forks looked like 8 twisted eels, and its eyes were as sharp as blades. Shwa! 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 The 6 7-star destined clan slaves rushed forward. Wu Zhongming alone was comparable to a powerful team. The entire space twisted, and a series of illusory sounds rang out. Wu Zhongming opened his arms, and an endless amount of spatial energy overlapped and crushed. Space Elite True Treasure Stacked Cup. Space and time were the elements of sky rank. Space Elite True Treasures were the top of the Elite True Treasures. Wu Chongming was the chief, and his sons, Wu Qi and Wu Yi, had an elite true treasure that was comparable to an excellent true treasure. How could he not have one? Even though the attack range was far, Wu Chongming still attacked, even though he couldn't use the full power of Stacked Cup. He was afraid that Lin Feng would run away. The space above and below shook violently, and the distorted space instantly overlapped. A semi-elliptical cup slowly formed in the void. This was the transformation of the space ripples. If the final overlapping was completed, the semi-elliptical cup would become a real cup. This was the origin of stacked cup. But would Wu Chongming succeed? It was possible. If it was a close-range attack, Wu Chongming might be able to trap Lin Feng. After all, the power of stacked cup was there. There was no doubt about the power of an elite true treasure. However, if it was a long-range attack, it would be difficult to use half of its power. Besides, there was no threat or pressure around Lin Feng. Out of the 3 Destiny Race warriors, 2 were dead and 1 was injured. Lin Feng was like a tiger that had escaped its cage. Pung! The space shook violently, and waves of ripples spread out from where Lin Feng was. The half-oval cup became twisted, and the space seemed to be pulled up by an invisible force. It was like a space beast was sucking in the air. Puff, puff. The space created by stacked cups suddenly cracked, and Lin Feng rushed out from the crack. He was extremely fast. Impossible! Wu Chongming's eyes widened in shock. No one had ever been able to escape from the restrictions of his stacked cups. He was just an ordinary 7-star human. Chapter 1835. Black Whirlpool. The bloodline in Lin Feng's body was already operating at full speed. The black vortex excitedly swallowed the spatial energy of the stacked cup, causing the energy of the stacked cup to be greatly weakened. Coupled with the attack of the Eclipse Secret Civ Saber, 3 consecutive blasts directly broke through. They were both elite supreme treasures, so no one was afraid of the other. After obtaining the Eclipse Secret Civ Saber and activating the first secret pattern, Lin Feng was like a tiger that had grown wings. He escaped from the encirclement of the Destiny Race and firmly grasped the initiative in his hands. From the arrangements before the battle, to the changes during the battle, to the retreat after the battle, Lin Feng had done everything perfectly. Even though Wu Zhongming was in a fit of rage and was in hot pursuit, Lin Feng's speed on the profound light shuttle was extremely fast as he gradually approached the entrance. Lin Feng suddenly exclaimed in surprise. He sensed 3 familiar auras. In just a moment, 2 more unfamiliar auras appeared. These were not the auras of the Destiny Race. Lin Feng's eyes brightened when he saw the familiar figures. Gong Lai, Western Yu Wangjie, and Yi Qi. Let's go! Lin Feng shouted at the 3 of them. His heart felt warm. He could feel that they had come to help him. They did not have a deep relationship, but it was rare for them to help him without hesitation. Gong Lai and the other 2 heard the voice and saw Lin Feng fly past them. They were stunned. They immediately reacted and were overjoyed. They hurriedly followed Lin Feng to the entrance. The Heavens Mandate Races experts roared as they chased after them. However, they couldn't catch up to Lin Feng and the others. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Many figures appeared at the entrance. They were Lin Feng, Gong Lai, and the others. However, just as Gong Lai thought that Lin Feng would continue to run away, he saw that Lin Feng was already standing in place. His eyes were as deep as blades, revealing his killing intent. "Brother Gong, do me a favor," Lin Feng said. "Speak." Gong Lai stood still. "Delay the 8-star Destiny Race experts." As soon as Lin Feng said this, the entrance of the space secret realm flashed. The Eclipse Secret Civ Saber in Lin Feng's hand shone brightly, and his aura skyrocketed. At this moment, everyone knew what Lin Feng was going to do. He was going to fight back. No way. Gong Lai was stunned. Facing the 8-star Destiny Race experts, not running but fighting? Furthermore, the other party had an entire team of Destiny Race 7-star powerhouses. Lin Feng wanted to take them on alone? Was this a joke? Wang Jie and Yi Qi were also shocked by Lin Feng's idea. Oh! The white-haired mistress looked at Lin Feng with interest. Humph, you overestimate yourself. Mei Yan pursed her red lips and stood beside her master, Misty Cloud. She was different from Gong Lai and the others. Although they were both Heaven Star Realm cultivators, she had no interest in getting involved in this kind of thing. Fighting against a group of 8-star Destiny race cultivators was the same as seeking death. Even her master did not dare to do so. But Lin Feng did it. Divine runes of light and divine runes of darkness crisscrossed as the black whirlpool sped up to its limit. The black whirlpool had absorbed a lot of spatial energy in the space secret realm. Even though the speed of the black whirlpool had decreased drastically, it still had enough energy to attack. Even without Gong Lai and the other two, Lin Feng would still attack. Running away did not mean that he would be in a sorry state. According to Lin Feng's plan, this attack would at least give the 8-star Destiny race experts a big surprise. But now, he changed his mind. In front of him, the space at the entrance gently fluctuated. In the blink of an eye, countless figures surged out like waves. Wu Zhongming was not stupid. Even though his eyes were filled with hatred, he had not lost his rationality. He used the 7-star slaves to open the way. His body was covered in a layer of black metal with a dragon head, and his defense was at its limit. It was the Black Dragon demonic armor, an exquisite treasure. An 8-star Destiny race expert had one more exquisite treasure than a 7-star Destiny race expert. Not only were they stronger, but their equipment was also more complete. Wu Zhongming did not expect Lin Feng to ambush him at the entrance of the space secret realm. His defense was just an instinct, or rather, it was a result of his countless epochs of battle experience. Even so, he still underestimated Lin Feng. If he had been one step later and more cautious, the result might have been better. But Wu Zhongming was too arrogant. Boom! Boom! When the two terrifying black and white saber lights crossed, Lin Feng's attack covered all of Wu Zhongming's 6-star and 7-star slaves, including himself. Silver Plateau Saber Techniques 7th move. Sacred Ground Saber Techniques 5th move. Under the push of the black whirlpool, light and darkness collided at the most extreme level. It was like two black and white dragons tangling with each other and fusing together. The intense energy increased to the limit. Lin Feng gritted his teeth and roared, the veins on his body bulging. Compared to the last time, Lin Feng's physical fitness had increased a little this time. Although it was not much, it strengthened his body's endurance. Although he still could not completely control this huge power, and his blood vessels were red like dragons roaring, it was enough. Boom! 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 The extreme energy crossed and landed at the entrance of the space secret realm like a nuclear bomb. Wu Zhongming's blood-red eyes were filled with shock and fear. He sensed the terrifying 8-star attack power. The eye of heavens will opened wide, and the lines on the black metal all over his body lit up. The dragon eye in front of his chest flashed with a demonic pair of pupils, and suddenly seemed to come alive. It drilled out of the battle armor, turning into a dragon covered in black scales that wrapped around Wu Zhongming's body. A cloud of dragon mist was spat out, causing Wu Zhongming's body to become illusory and distorted. Boom! The sky fell and the earth cracked. It was earth-shattering. Lin Feng pushed his strength to the limit, and the dark hell soul severing saber and the eclipse mystic civ saber in his hands attacked crazily. The 8-star attack power stunned Gong Lai and the others. The beautiful woman, Mei Yan, opened her small red mouth slightly, and her beautiful eyes flashed with an unbelievable light. She was so shocked that she could not speak. Misty Cloud's white hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes looked at the battlefield where rocks and soil were flying everywhere. A pink cloth bag appeared in his hand, and he shouted and threw the pink cloth bag into the air. In an instant, the pink cloth bag enlarged in the sky, turning into tornadoes and smashing down. Gong Lai and the others were still in shock. Suddenly, they felt the shocking power of the wind descending and enveloping the front. They also reacted. Gong Lai's eyes turned cold, and he quickly charged forward, going straight for Wu Zhongming, who was turning illusory in the fog. Oh! In the air, Lin Feng's first round of attacks had ended. The continuous attacks had pushed all of his strength to the limit. The spatial energy that the black vortex had just absorbed had been exhausted, and its strength had weakened a lot. However, the effect was shocking. This wave of attacks had almost killed all of Wu Zhongming's servants, and even Wu Zhongming had been seriously injured. Although he was an 8-star expert, Wu Zhongming's defense was not stronger than his 7-star servants, and he was still relying on the elite true treasure armor. Right now, only 2 of his servants were still alive, and the rest were all destroyed by this attack. Chapter 1836. What a strong wind attainment! Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He looked at the pink pouch in the air. It was an ordinary ultimate treasure, but when the white-haired elder used it, it was no weaker than when he used an elite ultimate treasure. The elements were compatible, and the ultimate treasure's power was unleashed. Great Tao of Wind, perfection. Lin Feng was not surprised. Normally, 8-star experts had at least one elemental Great Tao at perfection. Compared to Gong Lai, this white-haired elder's ability to control the situation was stronger. The pink pouch was like a tornado, completely controlling the injured Wu Zhongming. At this moment, Gong Lai, who was good at close combat, had already charged in and killed Wu Zhongming. After him, Western Du King Jie and Yi Qi did not stay idle. They each charged at Wu Zhongming's 2 7-star slaves. They did not need any orders, and their cooperation was very good. Lin Feng swallowed a heaven and earth fruit and closed his eyes. Tian Ming's 5th acupoint's senses spread out again. He stepped on the profound light shuttle and put away the black hell soul-severing saber. Instead, he used the Eclipse Mystic Saber. This was the Destiny World. Different from the rich spatial energy in the Space Secret Realm, the strongest energy in the Destiny World was the origin of light. Lin Feng believed that his Silver Plateau Saber technique and Eclipse Mystic Saber would be greatly improved if he fought here. Although it could not be compared to the light and darkness fusion attack enhanced by the Black Vortex, it should be comparable to the light and darkness fusion under normal conditions. Previously, the Eclipse Mystic Saber had not even used 1/10 of its power to balance the Black Hell Soul-Severing Saber. Now was the time to show its strength. Here it comes. Lin Feng's eyes instantly widened. Before Gong Lai and the others could react, he had already swooped down. His Eclipse Mystic Civ Saber went straight for another spot of light, and a top-notch 7-star Destiny Race Elite appeared, just in time. Boom! Lin Feng's attack also arrived. What? Misty Cloud and Mei Yan were shocked. They did not expect Lin Feng to be so ruthless. That was a Destiny Race expert. Even a 7-star Destiny Race expert's Death Soul Shock could kill an 8-star expert. However, the ordinary-looking human youth in front of him was not the least bit afraid. Chi! The Eclipse Mystic Civ Saber streaked across with resplendent white light like a meteor. Lin Feng's figure suddenly appeared without any signs of injury. He didn't even show any signs of being attacked by Death's Soul Shock. In the next instant, the 7-star Destiny Clan cultivators appeared one after another. Lin Feng's saber rose and fell like a demon king from hell, unleashing a frenzied massacre. He had the absolute advantage, and with the help of Gong Lai and the other 4 restraining the strongest Wu Zhongming, he could completely let loose and slaughter without restraint. He would kill whoever came. If 2 came, he would kill both. No matter how many slaves the Destiny Race had, once their masters died, the slaves would naturally break free from their master's control. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, they would no longer be a threat. Very quickly, the 9 Destiny Race warriors, with the exception of Wu Zhongming, had all fallen, including the 7-star elite Destiny Race warrior that Lin Feng had heavily injured. This was a battle. It was either you die or I live. Lin Feng naturally would not be merciful. His gaze landed on Wu Chongming, who was being surrounded by Gong Lai and Misty Cloud. Everyone knew that the Heaven's Fate race expert who was left without an army was actually not that strong. Not to mention, Wu Zhongming had already been injured by Lin Feng. Gong Lai wasn't as strong as Wu Zhongming, but he could still fight him one-on-one, not to mention Misty Cloud, whose strength was unfathomable. If the two of them weren't afraid of Death's soul shock, they would have already killed Wu Zhongming. Lin Feng's eyes instantly turned blood-red as he opened his fifth aperture. The elite supreme treasure, Skeleton Demon, instantly blasted out. It condensed into a ball of blood-red color and swallowed like a hungry tiger. Its speed suddenly increased, and it went straight for the panicked Wu Zhongming. Although Skeleton Demon's speed wasn't as fast as the soaring light shuttle, it was still much faster than normal attack. It was already difficult to dodge, not to mention that Wu Zhongming was heavily restricted. In particular, Misty Cloud's supreme treasure, Pink Wind Bag, made Wu Zhongming dizzy and unable to tell north from south. Suddenly, a blood-red light appeared and pierced through the layers of tornadoes. Wu Zhongming was shocked. Roar! The black dragon, who was already covered in wounds, angrily stretched out its dragon head and swallowed the blood-red skeleton. However, Gong Lai instantly appeared and chopped off the black dragon head with his black battle blade. Wu Zhongming spat out blood, and the black dragon armor on his body flickered and shattered. The black dragon head fell down and disappeared along with a ball of mist. No! Wu Zhongming was hysterical, and his whole body trembled. The blood-red skeleton enlarged in front of him, and the devouring power roared ferociously. It was as if a demon god had arrived and turned into countless skeletons. Their faces revealed lofty expressions as they unleashed all their attacks. The Eye of Destiny opened to its limit and attacked madly. At this moment, Lin Feng's Eclipse Mystic Saber descended. Gong Lai and Misty Cloud knew what was going on, so they withdrew their attacks and returned Wu Zhongming to Lin Feng. Misty Cloud also wanted to kill this 8-star Destiny race expert in front of him to obtain the 4 supreme treasures and the Eye of Destiny. However, he didn't have the ability to do so. The only result of being greedy was death. The death soul shock of an 8-star Destiny race expert was something that even 9-star Destiny race experts were deeply afraid of. This brat, is he not even afraid of the death soul shock of an 8-star Destiny race expert? Misty Cloud's eyes were filled with curiosity. He didn't doubt that Lin Feng could kill Wu Zhongming. There was no need to doubt it, because this 8-star Destiny race expert was already heavily injured and didn't even have a tenth of his strength left. Even an ordinary 7-star Destiny race expert could take his life, not to mention this young man with astonishing strength. Although he was only 7-star, his battle strength was tyrannical, which made Misty Cloud exclaim in admiration. Chi! White light streaked across the sky. Without the black dragon armor, Wu Zhongming's weak body couldn't block Lin Feng's ferocious close combat attack. He was killed in less than 2 moves. Before his death, his mournful cry resounded throughout the witch prison tribe, like a ghost's cry and wolf's howl. Boom! The death soul shock went straight into the depths of Lin Feng's soul, but it seemed to have hit a wall and shattered with a bang. The power of the 10,000 origin mustard stone was far beyond the master of the Black Region's strength. The ground was a mess, and the Destiny race experts had died on the spot. Lin Feng put away his blade and stood there, withdrawing his aura. Although he was slightly injured, it didn't affect his battle strength. I won. Lin Feng smiled faintly, feeling satisfied. He originally thought that he would be able to escape in this battle, but he didn't expect that Gong Lai and the other 4 would come as reinforcements. Not only did they help him restrain the 8-star Destiny race expert, but they also weakened his battle strength. Otherwise, even if he managed to injure him in the first move, he would have to retreat if the battle continued. His luck was pretty good. Thank you for your help. Lin Feng looked at them and said gratefully. You're welcome, it was a small matter. Gong Lai and the other 2 smiled and said politely. Unlike Misty Cloud, the 3 of them already knew that Lin Feng was immune to the death soul shock. There should be 2 more Destiny race experts. Misty Cloud's expression was serious as he looked at the entrance. Chapter 1837. Lin Feng looked at Misty Cloud and smiled. Those two died in the secret realm. Although it was an understatement, it was enough to make Gong Lai and the others widen their eyes in shock. Died in the secret realm? In other words, Lin Feng not only escaped from the encirclement of the 9 Destiny race experts, but he also killed 2 of them? This strength was too frightening. After witnessing Lin Feng's strength with their own eyes, Gong Lai and the others had no doubt that with Lin Feng's strength, if he really wanted to escape, this group of Destiny race experts wouldn't be able to do anything to him. Lin Feng's strength was even stronger than they had expected. A peak 7-star expert. His combat strength was even comparable to the threshold of 8-star. Thank you for your help just now, Senior. May I know who you are? Lin Feng asked. Big Dipper, Misty Cloud. The white-haired Misty Cloud child wore a loose robe and looked just like the Count of the Wind. He chuckled and said, Little brother Lin Feng has really broadened my horizons. This is the first time I've seen someone who isn't afraid of the Heaven's Mandate tribe's soul attack. Senior, you flatter me, Lin Feng said humbly. Misty Cloud stroked his long beard and chuckled. Big Dipper has a young talent like little brother Lin Feng. We don't have to fear other forces in the future. Master, he. Mei Yan's almond eyes widened as she hurriedly spoke. Cough. Western Dew King clenched his right hand into a fist and put it to his mouth, pretending to cough. Ichi hurriedly pulled Mei Yan's clothes. Their little actions naturally couldn't escape Lin Feng's eyes. Previously, he pretended to be a Big Dipper member and did fool Gong Lai and the others for a while. However, when they returned, they would definitely be able to find out that there was no such person in Big Dipper. Needless to say, this 8-star expert Misty Cloud was one of the upper echelons of Big Dipper. It was impossible to hide whether he was a Big Dipper member or not from him. I'm sorry, everyone. We didn't know each other before, so I pretended to be a Big Dipper member. Please forgive me, Lin Feng apologized. It's all right, Brother Lin. Yes, it's a small matter, Gong Lai and the others replied with a smile. Compared to Lin Feng's life-saving grace, this was indeed a small matter. Misty Cloud Master had a benevolent expression as he stroked his beard and smiled. Little brother Lin Feng, if you are willing, you are welcome to join Big Dipper at any time. We welcome you with open arms. Beside him, Mei Yan blushed as she realized that she had been too rash. Her master obviously wanted to recruit this human youth, but she was still dragging him down. Mei Yan bit her rosy lips with her pearly white teeth and stole a glance at Lin Feng. Her heart was moved. Putting aside her first impression of him, the young man in front of her was indeed a dragon among men. Although he couldn't be considered handsome, there was a natural and unrestrained aura between his brows that made him seem like an indomitable spirit. For some reason, Mei Yan's heart skipped a beat, and her face turned red. Everyone, let's talk inside. Lin Feng sensed his surroundings and did not sense the aura of the Heaven's Mandate race. He then cleaned up the area and put away the Eye of Destiny and the Supreme Treasure. Then, he led Gong Lai and the others into the spatial secret realm. His location would be sensed by the Heaven's Eye outside. Gong Lai and the others did not decline and followed Lin Feng into the spatial secret realm. Although entering the spatial secret realm was dangerous, and they might not be able to escape if the Heaven's Mandate race team attacked them, they did not care after seeing Lin Feng's strength. Unless a 9-star expert came, they had nothing to fear from ordinary 8-star Heaven's Mandate race experts. They had 2 8-star experts, and with Lin Feng, they did not need to fear any Heaven's Mandate race team. Even if they could not defeat them, they would at least be safe. If it weren't for your help in the battle just now, I would have escaped long ago. These are just a small token of my appreciation. I hope you don't reject them. Lin Feng's gaze swept across the crowd as he took out 10 exquisite supreme treasures and 18 ordinary supreme treasures, placing them in front of him. Gold, silver, blue, and green lights flashed, and all kinds of energies moved. With so many supreme treasures appearing at the same time, Gong Lai and the others could not open their eyes, as if they were suffocating. Everyone, take your pick. Lin Feng did not have much need for ordinary supreme treasures at the moment, and he did not care how many void crystals he could sell them for. After all, he had to repay the kindness of others. These supreme treasures were all obtained in this battle, including the supreme treasures of the two Heavens Mandate race experts who had committed suicide. Even if they took all of them, Lin Feng did not care. There was no need to be calculative about everything. Gong Lai and the others were stunned for a while, not knowing what to do. They did not expect Lin Feng to be so generous. To be honest, they had only done their best. Lin Feng was the one who had killed the Heavens Mandate race expert. Even if there was a severely injured Heavens Mandate race expert, they would not have dared to kill him. If Lin Feng had not been here, they would have had no choice but to avoid this team of Heaven's Mandate race experts. You are really welcome, Lin Feng glanced at everyone and said with a smile. Gong Lai and the others looked at each other and finally looked at Misty Cloud. The latter gently nodded and looked at Lin Feng. Since little brother is so generous, this old man will accept it. Thank you for your generosity. Then, Misty Cloud took an ordinary supreme treasure and put it away. When Gong Lai and the other two saw this, they also thanked Lin Feng and each took an ordinary supreme treasure. Only Mei Yan gritted her teeth and stared at a jagged treasure with her beautiful eyes. She rubbed her fingers and was too embarrassed to reach out her hand. After all, she had not helped just now. Mei Yan regretted it. She had lost a great opportunity. Although she was a 7-star expert, she only had an ordinary supreme treasure, and its value was not high. It could not be compared to the supreme treasures here. Take it. Lin Feng moved the jagged treasure to Mei Yan and smiled. Mei Yan was surprised and her small face blushed. She rubbed her hands together, not knowing what to do. She did not expect Lin Feng to do this. This old man will thank little brother for his generosity on behalf of my disciple. Misty Cloud smiled kindly and looked at Mei Yan. Are you not going to thank him? Mei Yan hummed softly. Her slender eyelashes trembled slightly. She looked up and stole a glance at Lin Feng. She said softly, "Thank you." "You are welcome," Lin Feng replied with a smile. He naturally knew that this beautiful woman did not help from the beginning to the end, but she was Misty Cloud's disciple after all. Moreover, an ordinary supreme treasure was nothing to him. "You are not taking it?" Lin Feng smiled and looked at everyone. He pointed. "There are 10 exquisite supreme treasures here. I do not deserve it. Little brother, take it back." Misty Cloud stroked his long beard and said kindly, "We are heavenly spirits. We will not take what does not belong to us." Lin Feng looked around and nodded. "In that case, I will not force you. The strong had their own principles. Now let's talk business." Lin Feng put away the supreme treasures and sat on the ground. He glanced at everyone, took out the key to the void gate, and placed it on the ground. Instantly, the eyes of Misty Cloud and the other 4 lit up. They were here for this. Chapter 1838. The Key to the Void Door. Gong Lai and the other 4 had come for it. As promised a year ago, he would come regardless of whether he found an outstanding true treasure or not. This key was sold at a high price of 1 billion void crystals in the Azure Dragon auction house, and all the 7-star and 8-star experts were scrambling for it. It was evident from the liveliness in the Destiny domain. The other 3 treacherous lands and the 18 treacherous lands were also bustling with activity. "It's true." Misty Cloud instantly made the judgment. He had seen the key to the void door with his own eyes, so he recognized it. He could see the luster, color, and spatial energy of the key clearly. Gong Lai heaved a sigh of relief. He frowned and pursed his lips. Lin Feng looked at Gong Lai. Judging from his expression, he knew that Gong Lai did not get an outstanding true treasure. However, there was nothing to be disappointed about. Outstanding true treasures were not that easy to get. In the Origin Awakened continent, even elite true treasures were extremely rare. There were too many monks and too little gruel. Even if it was an outstanding true treasure, it might not be suitable for him. An outstanding true treasure that was not suitable for him was not as good as an exquisite true treasure that was suitable for him, such as the golden bell and the eclipse mystic saber. To be honest, Brother Lin, I tried my best, but that senior refused to sell his outstanding true treasure. Gong Li sighed and shook his head helplessly. He glanced at Misty Cloud. It's my junior brother. Misty Cloud laughed and said, My junior brother is very stubborn. He insisted on bartering. Even if I tried my best to persuade him, he would not give up the outstanding true treasure. I understand. Lin Feng nodded. Outstanding true treasures were rare. If they were sold, there would be many people fighting for them. However, it would be difficult to get them back. If it were him, he would have the same idea. This is all I have. I hope Brother Lin can help me. Gong Li clenched his teeth. Then, a light flashed on his hands. Many different auras were tossed out together with the storage rings in front of him. 1 elite true treasure, 3 ordinary true treasures, and some other treasures. There was also a storage ring. The total value is about 352.8 million void crystals, estimated by the Heavenly Tea Pavilion. Gong Li found it difficult to speak and his face turned red. His wealth was already considered quite good among 8-star powerhouses, but it was still far from 1 billion void crystals. This old man has an elite true treasure and 250 million void crystals, the old man said. Misty Cloud Master smiled, took out a storage ring, and placed it on the ground. He spread out his hands and said, This is the savings of this old man for most of his life. This elite true treasure is a gift from an old friend. The Heavenly Tea Pavilion values it at 250 million void crystals. Misty Cloud Master took out a treasure shrouded in dense black light. An astonishing power of darkness spread out, faintly condensing into the shape of a monster in the void. Its appearance was hideous and terrifying. These are worth a total of 500 million void crystals. This is a small gift from this old man to my disciple. Although it's less than 1 billion void crystals, I hope little brother can fulfill my wish and give this old man some face. If little brother needs any help from this old man in the future, I will not refuse. Misty Cloud Master gently nodded. His gaze swept past his disciple, Gong Li, with a hint of appreciation. He had accepted many disciples in his life, and the one with the highest achievement was this disciple in front of him, Gong Li. As a master, he would naturally help if he could. The total value was 852.8 million void crystals, plus a favor from the 8-star powerhouse, Misty Cloud Master. Although it was less than 1 billion void crystals, this price was not bad. After all, the treasures auctioned in the Azure Dragon auction house were often a bit overpriced. To sell or not to sell, it was up to Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng's attention was focused on the treasure shrouded in black light. The rich darkness with the power of devouring was like a dormant dark behemoth, which made him feel extremely attracted. Darkness, devouring, and dark demon. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly as he stared unblinkingly at the treasure that was shrouded in black light. His heart was moved. Heavenly Tea Pavilion, estimated at 250 million void crystals? Lin Feng looked at Misty Cloud Master curiously. Yes. Misty Cloud Master said, This old man is not very clear about the specifics. Because this was a gift from an old friend, I have always kept it and never taken it out. Lin Feng nodded. With Misty Cloud Master's status, it was impossible for him to lie. The peak of an elite true treasure was generally between 10 million and 200 million void crystals. The Azure Dragon auction house's price would be slightly higher, but if the Heavenly Tea Pavilion's estimate exceeded 200 million void crystals, it was a bit unusual. What did this mean? At the very least, this dark-type treasure was a top-grade, exquisite true treasure. Moreover, it was likely to have a special ability, or a certain potential or condition. Under certain conditions, it could exceed the power of an exquisite true treasure, such as his golden bell and Eclipse secret sieve saber, or the black dragon-head armor on the 8-star powerhouse he had just killed. Oh! Lin Feng stared at the black ball treasure, somewhat entranced. Gong Lai's forehead was sweating, anxiously waiting for Lin Feng's reply. He was a little nervous. In order to get the key to the Void Gate, he was willing to risk everything. His potential was almost exhausted, and only by entering the turbulent void could he possibly break through the limit. This was his last chance. "Brother Lin," Gong Lai said carefully, afraid of being rejected. Lin Feng came back to his senses. Gong Lai clenched his fists, his palms sweating. "Brother Lin, what do you think?" Lin Feng laughed. "Sorry, Brother Gong, I was a little absent-minded just now." As soon as he finished speaking, he took the black ball treasure. Instantly, a violent aura surged out, and it carried a trace of unwillingness and anger. It was like an untamed wild horse. Lin Feng's eyes flashed, and the dark divine pattern on his body appeared, suppressing the aura of the black ball treasure. This elite true treasure and the other 4. Lin Feng took the elite true treasure and 3 ordinary true treasures that Gong Lai took out. "I don't need the rest," Lin Feng said with a smile. However, Gong Lai and the other 4 were stunned. What was left was Misty Cloud's 250 million void crystals, and the treasures and void crystals on Gong Lai's body were worth about 200 million void crystals. "No way, Brother Lin." Gong Lai's face turned serious, and he shook his head. "Yes, Brother Gong, you can take the rest," Lin Feng said with a smile. "Friendship is priceless. I will remember Brother Gong's help today. This key to the Void Gate is a small token of my appreciation. If Brother Gong treats me as a friend, then don't refuse." Gong Lai's body trembled slightly, and he was at a loss. "Don't be wishy-washy. Take it." Lin Feng stuffed the key into Gong Lai's hand. Then, "Thank you, Brother Lin." Gong Lai nodded heavily and clenched his fist. His eyes were burning. "Words can't express my gratitude. I won't say more. From now on, your business is my business." "Okay." Lin Feng smiled and shook his hand. Friendship was priceless, and many things could not be measured by money. Chapter 1839. "Brother Lin, you really don't need me to stay and help you?" Gong Lai asked. "I appreciate Brother Gong's kindness, but as the saying goes, it's hard to take care of the poor. Brother Gong can help me once or twice, but you can't help me all the time." Lin Feng smiled and shrugged. "So, just leave me alone." "Brother Lin, you like to joke. If you say it's hard to take care of the poor, then I'll be a beggar on the road." Western Dew King laughed. Ichi looked at Lin Feng, her beautiful eyes flashing with worry. If they still couldn't guess who the person the Destiny tribe was hunting down was, then they would really be fools. If little brother wanted to help, he would have asked earlier. Misty Cloud Master chuckled, his eyes filled with love for talent. "No matter what, if little brother needs it, this old man's promise will definitely be kept. Even if I have to go crazy with little brother, there's no harm." Lin Feng nodded. He knew what Misty Cloud meant. Although he didn't want those fragments of spatial crystals, Misty Cloud still considered this favor. There was no need to refuse. This way, everyone would feel better. "Wait for me to come back, then we'll meet again." Lin Feng reached out and hugged them. Although they hadn't known each other for a long time, they had formed a deep friendship. Even Mei Yan, who didn't like him before, had changed her attitude. Her beautiful face showed some worry. If they treated each other as friends, they would naturally be worried. After all, in the eyes of Gong Lai and the others, Lin Feng was in a situation where there was only a slim chance of survival. Or to put it more bluntly, he was simply courting death. How could one person fight against the entire Destiny race? Even if Lin Feng wasn't afraid of death and soul shock, what about 8-star experts and 9-star experts? Even a 9-star human powerhouse had died in the Destiny realm. Lin Feng was only a 7-star expert. How could he be so lucky? However, Lin Feng was determined. Gong Lai and the others couldn't persuade him. They could only hope for a miracle. Everyone reluctantly said goodbye. Lin Feng was left alone in the space secret realm. It seemed a little empty. Perhaps leaving with Misty Cloud and the others was a good choice. This was much safer, and there was a higher chance that he would be able to keep his life. After this round of battles, Lin Feng's strength had improved a lot. He had also gained a lot of treasures. This trip had not been in vain. However, Lin Feng didn't want to. Because he hadn't reached his limit yet, far from it. With less than an era left, he needed to constantly push himself. Under the pressure of death, his potential was stimulated again and again. As long as he didn't die, his strength would increase by leaps and bounds. From the moment he entered until now, he had skipped an entire step. Lin Feng believed that as long as he could endure for a while longer, his strength would leap another level. If you want to become strong, you have to be a little greedy. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. If you want to become strong, you can't be complacent. The turbulent void was too far away for him right now. The heavenly fate world was the most suitable place for him to hone himself. Moreover, there were so many powerhouses of the Destiny race who were willing to help him increase his strength. Why not? However, Gong Lai and the others have left. I do need a helper. Lin Feng was clear about his strength. If he met an 8-star powerhouse again, he might not be able to win. Especially after leaving the space secret realm, his strength would drop by 1 level. Here, he had almost reached the threshold of 8-star. However, after leaving here, his strength would only be close to the peak of 7-star. A ray of light flashed and the servant Wu Qing appeared. Her face was still pale and weak. She had consumed all her energy to evolve the Eye of Destiny. She bowed slightly. Master! How's the progress? Lin Feng asked. Master, please forgive me. I don't have enough talent. I'm afraid I'll waste Master's good intentions. Wu Qing's tone was a little lonely. She knew her own situation. Although she had the Eye of Destiny bestowed by Master and her evolution was nearing its end, this was the most crucial moment. Breakthrough, successful evolution. If she didn't succeed, she would die. The bloodline shackles were in front of her. The outside world's energy and help were only supplementary. Although it could increase the success rate, the key was still herself. Wu Qing was clear about herself. Her willpower wasn't strong enough, her soul spirit wasn't pure enough, and her talent was ordinary. With her talent, 7-star was already her limit. However, she was unwilling to give up and wanted to try. How many more Eyes of Destiny are there? What's the success rate? Lin Feng asked again. There are 8 more. There are enough Eyes of Destiny. Wu Qing paused. The success rate is about 20%. So low? Lin Feng frowned. Previously there was 50%. Now there was only 20%? His gaze landed on Wu Qing. Seeing her guilty face, Lin Feng immediately understood. Obviously, it was caused by Wu Qing's own problems. There was nothing to blame. She also wanted to break through and didn't want to die. However, there were many times when it wasn't up to her. After pondering for a while, Lin Feng said, What if the 7-star Eye of Destiny is transformed into an 8-star one? 8-star Eye of Destiny? Wu Qing's eyes widened. She said in disbelief, Master, you have an 8-star Eye of Destiny? Lin Feng nodded. 1. Wu Qing nodded repeatedly. She was overjoyed. This subordinate pleads for Master to bestow it. If there is an 8-star Eye of Destiny, this subordinate doesn't need to evolve. I only need to devour and assimilate it. The success rate will be more than 90%. Oh? Lin Feng was also rather surprised. A success rate of more than 90% was so high? After thinking about it, he understood. Evolving was to break through the shackles of one's ability to a certain point. However, devouring and assimilating was to possess and control that ability. It was like one needed to refine a treasure, while the other needed to control the treasure. The difficulty was much lower. How long? Lin Feng took out Wu Zhongming's 8-star Eye of Destiny and tossed it over. Wu Qing received it happily. The shortest is 10 days. The longest is 1 month. It will definitely be completed. Good. Lin Feng smiled with satisfaction. 1 month later, he would have an 8-star slave. Although with Wu Qing's talent, 8-star was probably the limit, this was already enough. At least she could provide him with great help now. After settling Wu Qing down, Lin Feng took out the spherical treasure that was shrouded in black light. Streaks of black light flowed on the black halo, and a shocking amount of dark energy was contained within it. It was as if a dark beast was sleeping. What kind of treasure was this? It was an elite treasure that Heavenly Tea Pavilion valued at 250 million void crystals. Its price was off the charts. Its power was definitely extraordinary. The rich darkness contained the power of devouring. The round treasure shrouded in black light hid the 3 paths of darkness, devouring and dark demon. Vigorous power constantly surged out and landed in Lin Feng's hand. It carried a violent aura, like a wild beast that was difficult to tame. It was very compatible. Lin Feng felt extremely satisfied. At that time, he was willing to exchange the Void Gate key mostly because of Gong Lai's help. However, a small part of it was also because of this darkness treasure that was compatible with him. 250 million void crystals? Perhaps to him, it was worth 1 billion void crystals. Shua. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a dark demon blood color. Chapter 1840. Destiny Realm. He's in the Witch Prison Tribe. That's right. I just used my Heaven's Eye to confirm his location. That kid is still alive. He's hiding. Kill him. Teams of Destiny Race warriors rushed toward the Witch Prison Tribe aggressively. Although Lin Feng had only appeared for a short time, how could the Heaven's Eye in the void not see him? The moment Lin Feng appeared, his whereabouts were completely exposed. Although only a few teams had found Lin Feng's location, it was enough. Many teams were even stronger than Wu Chongming. A large number of 8-star warriors gathered and rushed toward the Witch Prison Tribe. Space Secret Realm. Lin Feng held a huge ball of black light in his hands. Beams of black light shot out like vines and pierced into Lin Feng's right arm. They looked like bony thorns, which were extremely horrifying. Those bony vines emitted a black light and sucked Lin Feng's blood like leeches. Whoosh, whoosh. As the blood was sucked, the huge black light ball seemed to come alive. It rapidly expanded and shone with black light. A demon-like monster appeared in the void and woke up. It roared and released a ruthless aura. Change! Lin Feng shouted. His eyes were shining. Suddenly, the black ball of light changed shape. It was as if a curled-up body had suddenly stretched out, gradually straightening. The black radiance shrouded it from beginning to end, and the demonic aura filled it. The exquisite radiance flickered like a hungry dark beast. What a guy! Lin Feng's heart moved. He felt the majestic power of this dark beast. Under his control, the black light ball gradually changed into the shape of a battle blade. It was shrouded in a mass of black light. The blade was overflowing with colorful lights, like a demonic totem. Clang! The surging power was accompanied by blood chi. The battle blade shrouded in black light suddenly looked like a demonic figure. It was horrifying. Lin Feng waved it casually. The black light was released along with his energy. It was like a demon waving its claws. It was the combination of the dark Tao, devouring Tao, and dark demon Tao. The black light was the dark Tao. The devouring Tao was the power attached to the blade. The dark demon Tao was the demonic figure. 3 completely different types of energy, yet they were all part of the grand Tao of darkness, so when they were condensed together, their might was naturally extraordinary. Triple Change Perch Fiend. Lin Feng stared at the fiend that had materialized in the air. This black ball of light was actually the spine of the Triple Change Perch Devil. It contained all of its essence blood, and was made from darkness essence crystals. could transform into all kinds of shapes and weapons. Let's call it the perishing devil blade. Lin Feng waved his hand and streaks of dark aura blasted out along with the blade force. The dark demonic patterns on his body shone and were extremely compatible with the Perak demon blade, unleashing its full power. With the devil perishing saber, there was no longer a need for the black hell soul-severing saber. It was an elite true treasure level saber. It is in no way inferior to the Eclipse Mystic Civ saber. Lin Feng was very satisfied. The Perak Devil Blade's greatest characteristic was the fusion of the three great Daos of darkness. It had its own fusion system, but it wasn't easy to unleash the Perak Devil Blade's power. One had to be proficient in the three great Daos of darkness and be able to control their fused power. Just this point alone eliminated more than 90% of warriors who were proficient in the great Dao of darkness. Furthermore, the Perak Devil Blade's applicability was very high. It could transform into any shape of weapon. For example, there were short sabers, daggers, battle sabers, tang sabers, long sabers, large sabers. There were countless types, and every warrior was proficient in them. However, the Perak Devil Blade could transform into any shape, making it perfect for use. It wasn't just a battle saber. It could transform into swords, spears, staffs, axes, and 18 different types of weapons. This was one of the main reasons why its value exceeded 200 million void crystals. Finally, it had the ability to suck blood. It was a classic example of the dark demon type. To kill 10,000 enemies, 8,000 would be sacrificed. Unlike other dark demon types that affected one's mind, the Perak Devil Blade's dark demon power directly sucked the host's blood. The more blood it sucked, the stronger and more terrifying the power it could unleash. It could even suck all the blood in the host and unleash extreme power. 7 Injuries Fist. Lin Feng smiled wryly. Although that was the case, the Perak Devil Blade's battle strength was undeniable. To unleash the power of the Perak Devil Blade, the higher the fusion of the dark, devouring, and dark demon, the better. Compared to the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade, the Perak Devil Blade's advantage was that it could unleash its power immediately. However, the disadvantage was that to unleash its full power, it would cause a lot of damage to the body. Absorbing a little is comparable to unlocking the first layer of the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade. Absorbing a lot is comparable to unlocking the second layer of the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade. Absorbing a lot is comparable to unlocking the third layer of the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade. Lin Feng was clear. Although the Perak Devil Blade had only absorbed a little of his blood, he could roughly feel that this dark elemental war blade with an estimated price of 25,000 void crystals was definitely worth it. This is getting interesting. The Golden Bell consumes soul power, while the Perak Devil Blade consumes body power. Wouldn't I be injured every time I fight? Lin Feng smiled wryly. However, to obtain power that exceeded his own strength, he had to pay a price. With his soul power and body strength, he could afford to pay this price. Boom, boom, boom. Lin Feng continued to use the Holy Land saber techniques to get used to the new saber. The Perak Demon Saber was indeed unruly. After all, it had the power of the dark demon hidden within it. Coupled with the demon race's blood essence, it was even more violent. However, his own dark devil force was much stronger than it, much stronger. Compared to humans, the demon race was sometimes simpler. If you were stronger than them, they would listen to you. This was the case for the demon race. Not to mention the fact that the Perak Devil Blade only contained a little demon blood essence. Perfect control. Chi. The war blade approached in darkness. Lin Feng perfectly executed the Sacred Ground saber art. 100%. She adapted faster than she had imagined. As expected, I'm more suited for darkness. Lin Feng smiled. Adapting to the Perak Devil Blade was much faster than adapting to the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade, even if the Perak Devil Blade was stronger than the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade. Strength was the key. Originally, the light element was stronger, but now, the dark element is stronger. Lin Feng smiled. The two finally reached a balance, and the Eclipse Secret Civ blade was considered the lower standard. After changing his saber, his strength increased greatly. Even if I leave the spatial secret realm, I'll still have the strength of an 8-star. Lin Feng held the saber with both hands, full of confidence. The Perak Devil Blade had increased his strength by 1 level. After leaving the spatial secret realm, although he did not have the enhancement of the Dark Whirlpool, the Eclipse Secret Civ Blade was able to unleash power close to the second secret pattern because of the strong light source outside. The Perak Devil Blade could unleash the same power, and the blood absorption was within the acceptable range. The power of light and darkness had increased greatly. There was no need to doubt the power of the fusion. Boom! Lin Feng's power exploded, and the spatial secret realm shook violently. Holding the two sabers, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He smiled slightly and stepped out of the spatial crystal secret realm. There was no need for him to stay here anymore. Now, he could rival an 8-star Destiny race expert.